The Morning Extra, only on Extra 106.3.
Morning, y'all. Halfway through this week, and glad that you're with us this morning on Extra 106.3. Tug, Rhino, and front office. Those boys, how is everybody?
Doing good this morning.
I woke up
I don't
pissed.
like the rain, but...
Well, me either. I woke up pissed.
Uh-oh.
Because my dog Cash woke me up at 2 o'clock. It was pouring rain, and he was like, I'm thirsty, and I need to go outside and do my business. And I'd like for you to get out of this bed and help me get there. And so I did.
You should have pushed Laura out.
Yeah.
Made her do it.
Nah,
she doesn't have to get here till later than you.
No, but
I took my dog out at 9:45, 10 o'clock and gave her this is the last time.
Yeah, buddy. You don't
get under the deck, do your business, and then we're going to bed.
She listened?
She did.
Oh, that's good.
She knows.
My dogs.
That's it.
We made the mistake of wanting to hear the rain last night falling on. We have like a little tin roof outside of our bedroom. So we opened the doors, and the dogs decided they heard a squirrel fart and ran outside at about around the same time. Yeah, just screaming, yelling. Then came in, shook off, and there's water everywhere. And I'm like, then we had the cat scratching on everything last night, all night. So I get it.
That's a cat thing, man. They love to what is that called? Is it kneading?
I guess, yeah.
Wouldn't they do that?
Yeah.
Trying to sharpen their claws or whatever?
Their claws or whatever.
And
Aaron picked it up and threw it across the room. She was not happy. They land on their feet.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I do have some bad news for you.
Oh no.
Oh.
For your equator heart. By the time we get out of this office, it's going to be down near the 30s. So enjoy.
And windy.
Enjoy. Yeah. I know you brought it. I brought mine too.
Heavy coat, man. Yeah. My equator heart. I need to get that tattooed on my arm.
Equator heart?
Yeah. Instead of the Paul Westerberg song from the 90s from the single soundtrack, Dyslexic Heart, mine will be Equator Heart.
I'm trying to remember who the crazy activist was who, in fact, now I remember it. So back when ESPN came into town, when Michael Vick got in all the trouble that he did back nearly 20 years ago, ESPN had that special called The Vick Divide, and they brought in a bunch of people, and there was one person who started to. It was our friend Chuck Smith, a former Atlanta Falcon, and this one activist told him on stage, "Well, I have to question your African heart." Chuck couldn't have been more upset. Like, seriously, dude, like what I do for the black community, and you're going to question me over this?
Your
African heart. And so that I have to question your African heart.
Yeah. Well,
in this case, your equator heart.
Yeah, my equator heart. Yes. Well, don't question it because I'm like what you told me.
Your dedication to.
I despise it.
Well, you better get south.
Yeah. Believe me, I'd love to go. I'd love to move to the equator. I'm not kidding, man. The more I think about
it. That's your expat?
Yes.
It's to the equator?
If I could go, if there weren't if it wasn't all like socialists and crazy people, you know.
Equator tug.
Yes, I'm telling you, I belong there. I belong there. Maybe I could change my accent a little bit to, more of a Rastafarian or something.
He just wants to sweat constantly.
Yes, I do.
What would Rastafarian Tug sound like?
I don't know.
Hey, Mon.
Hey,
Mon.
Hey, Mon. I don't know. I'm not sure, but it can't be good.
You want some ganja?
No, I'll pass. Thank you. But you got some sunshine. I'll take that all day long. And those tasty foods that you have down there. I do love like South American and Caribbean foods and stuff. And you being a real foodie and a chef. And have you ever prepared any of that stuff?
We, no. So I love Jamaican meat patties in general, or empanadas. Now, I have made empanadas, actually. So I have done that. They're really good. They're fun to make. I actually have the empanada makers at my house. I should make some.
Yes, you should.
The Jamaican meat patty, you got to find the right place. And there used to be a place in Roswell. It's a little hole in the wall. And, I wish I could remember the name of it. And I don't think, Kingston Pot. And they made these unbelievable meat patties. And I would go in there and be like, how many you have? And you'd be like, I have 10. I'd be like, I'll take them. And I love them. And I used to cut them open. I remake everything that I get, but I love the base of that. And then I added some mozzarella cheese inside there and then reheat them and toast them back up. They're so good. God, I love that food.
This young lady that my son went to school with, her family is Argentinian, and they have a place, and I think I've looked up the right place in Johns Creek called Belén de la Cruz.
Okay.
And they're an empanada company.
Empanada.
And dude,
so good.
Those things will knock your socks off. They're so good. It's so ridiculous. And really, to be honest, I mean, I think I'd had an empanada at some point, somewhere. I couldn't remember. I knew what they were.
Yeah.
But what they would do is anytime there was a sporting event, like a special evening at a sporting event, they would always bring those to provide for. Like, I'll give you an example for baseball and senior night. They, you have the parents go out on the field and with their senior and announce and where they're going to school and what they're doing, what's next, and they always brought these just empanada packs for all the parents and all the
They're
kids.
So warming and yum.
Oh, dude, they're off the charts. It's the best thing. If you ever get to Johns Creek or over that area,
I gotta try that.
Belén de la Cruz is what it's called.
I once stayed at an all-inclusive in Costa Rica, and they had an empanada maker, and he had like this little window, and it was all-inclusive, so I was like, yeah, another one. Yeah, another one.
It's just
another one. Yeah,
eating them like pants candy.
Oh, I never even got to the pool. I was like, keep them coming.
And once you did get to the pool, you sunk right to the bottom.
That's it.
Gosh, they're good.
Yeah, give me some of the cacique rum and empanada, and I'm happy as can be.
Absolutely. There is what's that other rum that's oh gosh, there's a great rum down there, but in the Bahamas and just in the Caribbean that's out of this world. So if you ever well, I mean, anytime you get down to the Caribbean, the rum's good. I mean, even bad rum down there is good rum.
It's where it originates.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And Bacardi, I know, originated I don't know how we got on this topic, but Bacardi originated in
it was in Cuba and then it moved over to Puerto Rico. And
was it after it burned down, or there was some reason?
The Cubans basically started seizing all the assets of the company. They moved it to somewhere they'd be free, and then they actually get their oaken buckets from Jack Daniels, and that's what they age their rum. Yeah. They're all from Jack Daniels. They're all from Tennessee.
Well, how about that? Tennessee, I knew those Tennessee folks are good folks, man.
They know how to make you drink.
Yes, sir, they do. Because I love some Tennessee whiskey and I love some rum, and now I didn't know they went together hand in hand like they do. Los, thank you.
There you go.
My day's made. My day has been made.
Well, whenever you consume your rum, you can go, got a little bit of Tennessee heart to that thing.
Yes, it does. It does.
Southern rum.
That's exactly right. Which, I mean, it's really southern, though, like way south. Cuba, way south, or Puerto Rico, I guess now. Anyway, the media, they always they love to look at things in an upside down manner. I saw a person complaining, and these stories don't necessarily go together, but I'll tell you why I'm getting to it. There was someone complaining about Daniel Penny and the fact that they went to a bar and had a beer after his after he was found not guilty. Yeah. And I'm like, well, why does that bother you? I mean, he did the right thing. He was accused. He was accused and was being drugged through the mud. His life will never be the same. And you're mad at him for celebrating? So, but that's what the media does. That's what the mainstream media does that drives me up the wall. And they're doing the same thing with our guy Luigi. They're doing that too. They're trying to make him this
our guy.
Yeah.
I guess because from the minute we heard about that story, we were all over it, and we've covered it in a way that we've talked about all the possibilities. And so, Luigi Mangione is turned into this caricature of the difference in how these people look at crime versus acquittal.
Yeah, right. And I know that they're two completely different stories, but the same mindset, or at least it seems that way to me.
Yeah, the one difference is I think that we need to stop giving this idiot a platform to continue his hate, his derangement, and his speech, because this is what incites violence all over. I don't think that, they should be covering what he's saying, what he's doing, any of it, because this is where we've gotten to where people become copycats. People get, I guess, emboldened to do really dangerous things, but the media is now trying to make him out to be this lovable, good-looking, smart kid. He's a vigilante. What he was doing was right. His back, oh God, he couldn't have sex and this and that. The whole story around this, they're trying to make it like almost a romantic affair with this kid.
Well, if you don't know, yesterday, the UK Daily News had a story from one of his roommates that he had a back injury, and that's why he was bitter and he couldn't have sex, and that's why he went to Hawaii to try and rehab. There's so many parts of this story that there's dark places that you say, okay, how did you create somebody who was willing to shoot somebody on the street that they didn't know when they haven't had a criminal history? There hasn't been any sort of history of manic depression or being institutionalized. There's nothing about it in a 26-year-old where you say, all right, there's the obvious line for how you went from regular kid from a very rich family to killer on the street national headlines.
Yeah, that's quite a difference. I mean, that is
how did we get here?
Yeah, what's the path? And Obamacare comes to mind.
Sure.
And you could I saw people, tossing that around a little bit, and that's the first thing I thought about was, Obamacare was supposed to be this darling thing for the American people, and it's going to make everything better and socialized medicine. And yet, we all knew that wasn't going to be the case, and it isn't the case. And now things are more expensive than it ever has been before. So you leftists, celebrate your Obamacare.
Yeah.
Because it sucks, and it's ruining the American healthcare system.
Yeah, I think this is an entitlement issue. These kids have become entitled to, if I don't get my way, I'll do whatever I need to do to get it. And if violence is acceptable in my mind, then I will use violence. And that's what I think we see more than anything else. Obamacare is there for people who need to have Obamacare. He was in a school, an Ivy League school. He has $40,000 a year to be there. He obviously wasn't going to qualify. Maybe, I don't know what the situation is.
Anybody
with his
can use
insurance,
Obamacare, though.
But anybody, well, yes, absolutely. But it would have probably cost him more than it would have if he went to maybe a United Healthcare. And we still don't know what, and if he was denied by United Healthcare or any of the details behind that. But that's the whole point of having private industry. You have the choice. And it does take some personal responsibility to look at all the plans that you are enrolled in or may be enrolled in and decide, hey, is this the right plan for me? If not, then there is an Obamacare. There is another company that I can go to and find something. To go out and say, hey, he denied me and this, that, and the other, and then shoot a man in the back as many times as he did, that's that's an issue that I think that we have in this country right now, where people think they're entitled. When they don't get their way, they take it out on someone else.
This is a family that reportedly is considerably richer than the CEO of the people that he shot, of the man that he shot and killed. All right, now start taking me down this road of where someone who probably could afford whatever he needed to as a family decided to lash out. If you just take what was the manifesto, the portion that has been published, he clearly doesn't even understand the economics of it. He's just decided that this industry is evil, and so he's going to lash out at it.
And this is the figurehead. This is the guy
this
that
is the figurehead of what I'm going to
make
do.
the example
and as he points out, he's just been more willing to lash out at violently than other people have.
It's amazing, though, Rhino. Just Los was talking about it. How do you get from point A to point B in seemingly breakneck speed?
Well, I think when you see that one of the professors from that school is praising him for what he did, this is somebody who teaches that. This is somebody who has indoctrinated children. To me, it comes from the school. It comes from the Ivy League. It comes from the people who are, teaching him. And I'm putting that in quotes because I don't think these kids are learning from these people except for what they want. That's where I think it comes from. I think it comes from an entitlement and then hearing from these teachers that, hey, you're guilty of being white privilege and other people need to be taken care of and this and that and the other. I mean, the divide that these teachers have put in these kids' head have made them almost mentally unstable at this point.
Well, it takes a level of indoctrination, and it has to start somewhere, but it has to continue along the lines. It's not like a YouTube video is going to turn me into some sort of nutter. It's going to take a multitude of things occurring that takes me down a path where you suddenly go, wow, he firmly believes that.
Right. I see exactly what you're saying.
Sure.
But I do think one begets the other, right? That you get the first.
You need one,
and
then
the domino
the next. There's a multitude of influences, and some of this, can be when you talk about indoctrination. Some of it can be economics. Mm-hmm. It can be what you were taught in school that then you apply to your own life, and now this is how I see this world. And it could have nothing negative towards it. It could just be, and largely when you read some of his stuff, it is anti-capitalist.
Yeah.
It is very Unabomber-esque.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, 4 to 8 years in a school where you have these kind of professors with blue hair that are teaching other things than, philosophy and whatever they want to be teaching. I think that really does start to get the gears grinding to the point where you start having these thoughts. And then, maybe it is a YouTube. Maybe you get online on social media, you get into certain groups, and then you feel like, hey, I want to impress these people and get to a point where they're looking at me like, hey, he actually did it. He really is committed to this.
If I was to be teaching an economics class, I would start very simply at a 01 level, okay? Like, economics 101. capitalism. One of the things we're going to talk about in that class is within a capitalistic society, there are winners and losers. It is. This is how this plays out.
100%.
So let's just say we've started where we can all agree there are winners and losers in capitalism. What happens when you're 26 with a back injury and you start thinking to yourself, I am that loser?
I'm the loser. Yeah.
How do I lash out? How do I make myself relevant? That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of bricks here
there is.
to get to this house being built.
And it's so crazy because his family is such a winner in capital.
Yeah.
But he's the one
I'm
loser.
just saying there's so much here to think about.
I know, absolutely.
And again, I'm not talking about teaching some sort of communist manifesto version of economics.
No,
I'm just telling you the truth. It's that when that truth might hit you, you don't know what the effect's going to be.
Especially you've been watching those YouTube videos and getting on those online forums and discussing communism, socialism with other people that see your point of view, probably don't have your background, but are able to influence you that way.
Yeah, and then when you get, and then they don't teach about the communist part about that in economics, that there are more losers than winners. There's only one winner, and that's the elite that control all the losers in that. But these people
Fidel
feel
Castro.
like, hey, it's okay if we're all losers together. It is a very damaging thing that we see these kids going through right now mentally. I just feel like when we see what's going on around the world, mentally our kids are in trouble. And then when you have these teachers who are now probably about 38, 39, maybe 40, and they've all been indoctrinated in the same system. This is starting young, by the way. This is, like Carlos said, it didn't start in college. It started in high school. This might have even started in elementary school to a lot of these kids where they've been taught this for so long and made to feel guilty. Look at some of our kids that are like worrying about being white privileged in elementary school.
This is a portion of the manifesto. He does point out Apple, Google, Walmart, and he also talks about United. He says they've simply gotten too powerful and they continue to abuse our country for immense profit because the American public has allowed them to get away with it. Obviously, the problem is more complex, but I do not have the space, and frankly, I do not pretend to be the most qualified person to lay out the full argument. Basically, I don't exactly understand the economics of it, but I'm going to lash out at it.
But I'm mad about it. I'm mad. But you know what? I think I'll still go to McDonald's, the beacon of capitalism. That's where I'll go.
It became a winner.
Yeah, it's so dumb, man. It's so dumb.
It's all hypocritical.
It is. Certainly from his background, it's very hypocritical.
Bet he had an iPhone, too.
I bet he did. And capitalism brought him that iPhone. And let's say he used an Android. Capitalism brought him that Android. Yep. Otherwise, they don't exist without it. And my son has a friend that it started in late high school, just to kind of piggyback on this conversation, where he decided he is a socialist. One of my son's dearest friends. And it's the saddest situation. Great kid. We see him, once every 6 months or so, and he still is in that vein, and I'm afraid it's not going to change. When we come back on Xtra 106.3, Tug, Rhino, and Front Office Lows, CNN doesn't realize what America actually voted for last month. After the headlines, next on Xtra.
Stream Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, Glenn Beck, Fox News, and even NASCAR on Sundays. Anywhere on the Xtra 106.3 app. Download the app now and get 24/7 access to the live stream, the latest news, and everything you need to know about Atlanta's only conservative talk station. Download the Xtra 106.3 app for Apple or Android and check out even more great original content at thepodcastpark.com.
As the rain comes down and the cooler weather comes in, as you heard Front Office Lowe's talking about a little bit ago, it's going to get quite chilly this afternoon. Are there places in your roof that you're concerned about, especially on a rainy day when you got that little brown spot on the ceiling, and every time it rains, it gets the tiniest fraction bigger, and you have to make marks on it? I've been there before. I've done it too. You make marks to see if it's getting bigger. That way you know if you need to call the roofer and get some repair done. And when you decide yes, the answer is yes, let me recommend the folks at Southern Exteriors. They just gave away a brand new roof to a deserving family. It was the sweetest thing. Tears all around, not just from the people that won the roof in their Home for the Holidays program, but the folks at Southern Exteriors too, when they heard the call that I was honored to make to let these people know. They care about their community. They care about people. And now that we have rain in the forecast and had it yesterday and it'll continue today, make sure your roof and your siding, for that matter, can handle the weather. Southern Exteriors is the reliable roofing and siding company. They have options for you if you need a new roof, repairs, or durable siding that will stand up to these elements. They are here to help. Free estimates, 0% interest, and no payments for 6 months. If you need a new roof or a roof repair because you've been marking that little brown spot on the ceiling, give them a call today, 877-9-SOUTHERN, or visit their website. It's southernexteriors.co.
Hey, Roswell. Looking for the perfect bite this football season? Head on over to Nucky's Hoagie's Roswell Corners, where every sandwich is crafted with love by us.
The Sub Sisters,
Stacy
and Shannon. Whether you're looking to cater a football tailgate party or grabbing lunch to go or dining in, we've got delicious Nucky's menu items for you. When you bite into a Nucky's Hoagie, you'll taste the difference. The softest hoagie rolls ever, with the freshest ingredients that'll make your taste buds dance.
Make Nucky's Hoagies and Roswell Corners on Woodstock Road your new favorite sandwich spot.
The end of the year is closing in, and with it, another tax year comes to an end. As you prepare to file your taxes, consider the efficiency of your tax strategy. Have you maximized your IRA and Roth contributions? Do you have an RMD strategy in place? Are you making moves now to maximize your future tax-free income? Not only is the year-end fast approaching, but the 2017 tax cuts sunset at the end of 2025, placing many Americans in a higher tax bracket. Don't just report your taxes, plan for them. Contact Master Plan Retirement Consultants now to create a retirement plan specifically designed for you. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation where we can illustrate your retirement outlook and create a plan together for your future. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and thank all of you who have made Lee Brandt a success. There is no greater feeling than making Christmas special for someone you love. And special Christmas memories are made at Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches, where quality, value, and service are the Lee Brandt difference. Also, check out Lee Brandt's pre-owned Rolex watches for a timeless gift that will be cherished forever. Located in Sandy Springs in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center, or visit LeeBrandt.com. Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Cowart for the weekly radio show Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. This week's guest is Georgia Department of Community Supervision Commissioner Michael Nail. Tune in on Saturdays or catch up on all past episodes wherever you get your podcasts or at thepodcastpark.com.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines. Presented by RBM of Atlanta, your Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Wednesday, December 11th. Minnie Turner, a 60-year-old science teacher at Tucker High School, is off the job after being arrested and charged with DUI on Monday morning. Students reported that Turner was driving back to school after picking up food during the first period when she hit another car. The other driver followed her back to the school parking lot, where Turner reportedly struck additional vehicles. In a statement from the DeKalb County School District, Turner has been placed on administrative leave and is prohibited from entering DeKalb County School District property until the investigation is complete. Rain will be moving out later this morning, making way for cold temperatures and strong winds. Wind gusts of up to 30 miles per hour are expected this afternoon. Combined with the wet grounds from recent heavy rainfall, there is a potential for trees to come down. Be careful. Temperatures are forecast to drop into the low to mid-40s by this afternoon. And in sports, Atlanta Braves pitcher Max Fried has agreed to an 8-year, $280 $18 million contract with the New York Yankees, according to the Associated Press. The deal marks the largest contract in history for a left-handed pitcher. Fried departs the Braves after 8 seasons, a World Series title, and 3 Gold Glove awards. With your headlines, Scott Rhino, Extra 106.3.
I don't know where CNN keeps missing the memo. I mean, I understand nobody watches them, and it's because they keep missing the memo. They keep missing the fact that the American people do not see eye to eye with them. I don't know that they ever will. It seems like they don't get us, Los. They don't get what the American people are trying to accomplish.
No, they had a subject about the Trump transition, and credit to Donald Trump. The guy tells you flat out what his plans are, what he's going to do. He didn't hide anything. It's not like the left, where they will pretend to be centrist and then plan to govern from the far left.
They have to because they know they can't get elected far left.
They can't be elected if they tell you what they really intend to do. So when Donald Trump makes it a point, here's what we're going to do. We're going to ship out millions of people. We're going to get them out of our country. When he goes on Meet the Press, he's like, birthright citizenship, it's on the table. We're trying to get rid of this. When he points out all of these angles, about the only thing he hasn't brought up, which I'm completely on board with, is, hey, we're going to cut Social Security. All right, that's something he'll never touch. It's something he didn't touch his first time around. They'll never address it. But I voted for all of this. I voted for all the things that CNN looks at as being gross. Take a listen to this woman as part of the panel. She's going nuts because apparently she didn't get the memo that this is what I voted for.
I might be deported because I'm a naturalized citizen. And Stephen Miller, who is Donald Trump's deputy chief of staff, has said that they're going to embark on a denaturalization program. So I could be deported, my citizenship could be taken away, and my children could be deported because they have birthright citizenship. So this is not what the country voted for. Let's be very clear. Americans voted for Trump because of groceries, because of lowering costs. He has not talked about that one bit. What this country did not vote for is to deport the 11 million undocumented immigrants who do critical work for our economy, who have injected $7 trillion into our economy. And what Americans want is a solution to immigration. They want expanded legal pathways, and they do want more stronger, smart border security, which is exactly what Democrats are talking about. And Democrats have always been the ones willing to work with Republicans on a solution, and it's been Republicans that have always pulled the rug from under our feet.
All right, let me point 2 things out really quickly. First off, baby girl. Yes, I voted for all of that. Number 2, if the Democrats were talking about that and the rug was being pulled from out from under their feet or somehow, that you would have won. You didn't win. You got your ass kicked. All right? Everything you're pointing out is what I voted for. This was not some hidden platform. This was not what you're used to on the left of, we're not going to tell people what we intend to do. We're going to run as centrists. Donald Trump and his entire group told you we're going to have mass deportations, and it wasn't new. He talked about it for 6 months.
The American people sent the mandate to the government that this is exactly what we're voting for. Donald Trump didn't hide from it. Get out of here. Every commercial was, we're going to deport, mass deportation. He made it up front, and he didn't use fake campaigns like, hi, we're going to bring joy, and black men, we're going to give you money if you vote for us. No, Donald Trump told you exactly what we're voting for. We want to get rid of birthright citizenship. It was part of the RNC. It was part of every commercial. We want to do these things. We are going to have mass deportations. We are going to clean up, and we're going to shut the border down. That's what people voted for.
So as CNN is telling you, well, they're going to get rid of these workers, and here's how much money they bring to the economy. Understand that the establishment, it's this really Chamber of Commerce Republicans, they love having this indentured servitude class where they get to pay them $4 an hour, and those people will do the sort of work that they have to go ahead and do, and you keep them in the shadows, and they make very little money so that these companies make more profit. Once they're gone, that work still has to be done, and that means a regular America for Americans has to do that job, and guess what? You can't pay them $4 an hour.
The dirty example of that was up in Ohio. Was it Springfield? What was it? Springfield?
Yes.
Where the guy was kicking people out of their apartments so he could rent them to Haitian immigrants and put 10 people in a room with cots.
To have them in the food packaging plant.
That he owned.
Yep.
That is the prime example of what Carlos is
paying
talking
them
about.
$5 an hour less than the regular American. And the regular Americans who are in that community point out, we're not going to do that job for $5 less an hour than what these Haitians are doing it for.
And it creates private business, too. This isn't government jobs, or this is actually efficient jobs that you have to be efficient at and you have to work hard at, and you'll make good money doing. There are jobs out there for everyone if they want them. We have to get rid of the people who are here to do damage. Donald Trump is going to do exactly what he's supposed to do and get rid of all the criminals first. Then we'll start looking other ways. He talked about accepting dreamers in the DACA program and other things that you wouldn't expect him to, because in all honesty, if you had told me get rid of that too, I'd be like, yeah,
Just
fine. Let's go ahead and shut the borders down. Let's go ahead and protect the American people. I'd be fine with all of it. But he's open-minded because you know why? He's got a diverse cabinet right now, and he's got people like RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, and others who are going to inject some kind of social ideas behind what they want to do.
We're going to, and I'm going to push this over to Good Clean JoJo, because JoJo has a sensible head about him when it comes to the left. Joe, what I'd like to do is see 10 million people deported and 10,000 puppies.
10,000 puppies in or out, deported.
See, he didn't care about the illegals.
No, yeah, he went right to the
yeah,
puppy.
that's what I'm talking about, America. That's what I voted for.
Me
and
too.
JoJo, he thought the exact same thing. I talked about 10 million people and 10,000 puppies. He's like, but why the puppies?
Yeah, wait, whoa.
Thank you, America.
I love it.
I wish I could put a cape on right now.
He said, wait, are we getting puppies or do we have to give up puppies?
He's like, what about the puppies?
Really concerned about the puppies.
No, look, most people are very concerned about puppies. Dude.
I mean, I'll even take chihuahuas, to be honest with you.
And this is way off topic, but my heart breaks every time I see the different humane societies talking about dogs and the fact that dogs don't have a place to be this Christmas. You know what I mean? And as soon as you said that, that's the first thing I went to.
I was making the giant point that nobody cares about illegals because they're here illegally.
And where did my mind go?
Puppies.
To those puppies that are sitting in jail cells.
And Joe happens to be my man on the left, and he's my man. And immediately he was like, well, but the puppies.
They get to go. They get to come back. What are we doing?
Thank you.
What
Thank you, Joe. That is my entire point. Everyone,
exclamation point.
when you see CNN pushing this entire ideology of, well, what about these illegals? What are they going to do? They're more really concerned about puppies. If you get them in a private moment where you just spring it on them, they will talk and be more concerned about puppies. All right? Because everybody's more concerned about puppies than illegals.
But this woman wanted to tell the 77 million people that voted for Donald Trump what they voted for. She knows better. That's the problem with places like CNN. They know better. That's why they don't tell you the truth most of the time, Rhino, because they know better than you, and they have to lead you to their truth.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah, they're almost that's the mind virus. That's what they're implanting in you is, hold on, we're not going to tell you the truth. We want to bring on emotion. When you watch us, we want to bring out your emotion. We want to get you angry at another side. We want to politically make this. And that's why I think a lot of people like Carlos, myself, and others don't want to see CNN go down this route anymore, and even their own voters. I think moderate Democrats are going, yeah, no, we kind of do want to keep our people safe. We do want to have kind of an America first. We are going to start voting for them. And I'll tell you, that's what got the black community and a lot of the Hispanic community, whether she likes it or not, they were all saying, hold on, we want to be talked about. We want to be discussed, not illegals. We want help, not illegals. So she's wrong. Not only did Republicans vote for this, but Democrats voted for this overwhelmingly as well.
A federal judge has ordered the FDA to release 1 million more pages from the COVID vaccine trials that were supposed to be sealed for about 75 years, much like the research that was covered up, and we've talked about on this show, about puberty blockers. They had a research study that showed puberty blockers do not help any so-called trans kid with their mental health. It does nothing, and the evidence is overwhelming. It's a study out of the Netherlands that was buried because the woman who did it was afraid it was going to damage her calling, her point of view. So what is true, she wasn't willing to share with you because she wanted to be able to continue down the path of giving these terrible medicines, these terrible drugs to children. And I would imagine we'll find the same type of information when that we never even envisioned to be a part of the COVID vaccine conversation and the conspiracy that followed it. But I thought of you, Los, immediately when this broke yesterday, that lawyers and doctors and people like Front Office Los are going to have a ball with 1 million more pages of evidence that the COVID vax was rushed, has horrible side effects, and was not effective.
Considering that this was not supposed to be seen for 75 years. I mean, what is this, the JFK assassination?
No kidding.
I mean, we actually have to keep going into court and telling these people, you owe us more information. It's like what we talked about several weeks ago when Pfizer did their survey, when they did their test. And the third biggest issue that occurred with people when they took the vaccine was COVID. It's like they took it, and the
then they got
third
COVID.
Biggest issue was COVID. It's
multiple times.
So when we find out more of these pages, it's going to be interesting just to see when you start getting more of the data that they've been trying to keep away from you.
More, it's like Howard Stern. He talked about how he's gotten every COVID vax, every booster, and every time.
And he keeps getting it.
He keeps getting COVID. But it's going to be the things that we've never even considered being part of this COVID vaccine that we're going to find out, that is going to blow open this case even more. And then we'll sue again, and somebody will sue the FDA again, and we'll find more and more and more. And ultimately, even if Dr. Fauci is never brought to justice, which he should be, but likely won't be, we will know the truth. And I think that's probably the beauty of Donald Trump being elected, is because he's going to pursue these things on our behalf.
My question is, if we're going to take something that is largely 40 years old, which was getting rid of the ability for people to sue pharmaceutical companies for any of their missteps when it came to vaccine technology. Once we got rid of that, because that was done under Ronald Reagan, because the Big Pharma basically told him, we're not going to develop any more of these products because we are worried about liability. If we get rid of that ability for them to be sued, do we stifle what goes on as far as technology, or do we actually make it to where they have to be upfront and honest about it, what they're doing?
I like the second.
I would hope
think that the second would probably be the most effective, because if you are developing something with goodwill and you're being transparent through the entire process, then there's nothing that you're hiding from people, right? There's no reason to sue. Look, here's what it is. These are our concerns. Here's what we think it'll help. Then people make the choice, I want to do it or I don't, and aren't forced to do it, which is the biggest part of the COVID thing, that so many people were forced to do it. But I think open and honesty and transparency, I think that removes some of that liability, because it's there.
It's there. It's right in front of you.
Then you make the choice.
Yep.
And I think that's where...
Well, and we've all talked about the two words, informed consent. Just tell me what the risk factors are. Tell me what the benefits are, and then let me make a risk analysis based on where I'm at. That's all.
Gotcha. And makes sense. Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra until 10. 404-741-1230 at Extra 1063 across the social media platforms. This guy, we all really, really like him. And he is out here making the left look silly again. Tell you who he is and what he's done next on the Morning Extra.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's Pete, and here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
It seems somebody done us all a favor by producing a list of all of the celebrities that promised they would leave America if Trump won. You want to hear it? I'll read fast. Adam Baldwin, Whoopi Goldberg, John Legend, Chrissy Teigen, Rob Reiner, Barbara Streisand, Cher, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Megan Rapinoe, Tom Hanks, Amy Schumer, AOC, Lady Gaga, Taylor Swift, Bill Gates, Jane Fonda, Madonna, Mark Ruffalo, Kim Kardashian, Bruce Springsteen, George Clooney, Hunter Biden, Oprah, Robert De Niro, Samuel L. Jackson, Miley Cyrus, Travis Kelce, Rashida Tlaib, Stormy Daniels, Anthony Fauci, George Soros, Eminem, Ellen DeGeneres, Sean Penn, Sharon Stone, Ashley Judd, Tommy Lee, Bryan Cranston, and Billy Joe Armstrong. Who dat?
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
EMC Security.
Meet EMC Security's hero of the home.
After some break-ins in my neighborhood, it got me thinking about my family's security. A friend recommended EMC Security, so I called them. Now I have peace of mind that my family is safe without having to sign a long-term contract.
Way to go, Sarah. Be the hero of your home with no contracts, fast and reliable monitoring, and rates as low as $16.95.
EMC Security. Smart protection for a safer tomorrow.
Sequoia National Golf Club is located 45 minutes west of Asheville, North Carolina, and nestled among the oak, fir, and flowered valleys in the heart of the Great Smoky Mountains. Owned by the Eastern Band of the Cherokee, this Robert Trent Jones II design offers an idyllic 18-hole journey filled with panoramic vistas on every hole, beautiful landscapes, and a fun mountain golf experience. Enjoy a relaxed lunch or afternoon beverage on the outdoor deck with 180-degree views of the Great Smoky Mountains. The surrounding community also provides golfers a welcoming environment that is rich with Native American culture and exciting year-round attractions. Sequoia National Golf Club is just 4 miles from Harrah's Cherokee Casino Resort and just a short drive from Atlanta. Experience a fun afternoon of golf with your friends or stick around for an epic stay-and-play weekend. Experience mountain golf at its finest and then go hit the casino floor. Book your tee time at sequoianational.com. That's sequoianational.com. Experience the majesty and beauty of Sequoia National, mountain golf at its finest.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. Okay, you're driving along. Suddenly you hear that horrible sound of metal and crunching. It's an accident. Even if it's a little minor fender bender, man, that could be a nightmare. First, obviously, take care of yourself. But before you make a deal with an insurance company or anybody else, call David Van Sant with Van Sant Law. You know why? Because he used to work for the insurance company, so he knows how to get the right settlement and right away. Van Sant Law. Don't forget, if you don't get paid, they don't get paid. Protecting your interests. Insurance is great, but it's complicated. 855-GA-INJURY or vansantlaw.com.
Are you tired of dealing with loud, ugly, drafty garage doors? Do you have certain rooms in the house that you can't keep cool in the summer or warm in the winter? Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Now is a great time to upgrade with brand new, efficient, quiet, and beautiful garage doors. Your garage door is the biggest opening in your home, which is why it's such an important part of your home's curb appeal and energy efficiency. Give us a call today at 770-517-7078. Get started today by visiting us at allfourseasonsgarages.com.
Who doesn't want a great smile? The world seems brighter because it is. Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? You know, that's only one reason to see my dentist, Dr. Dina Giesler at Atlanta Smiles. The other reason, of course, is to take care of your teeth, or they're going to make your life miserable. We all know that. But when's the last time you were smiling before you walked in the door like me? Because I know Dr. Dina and her staff are the happiest Kimmer babes you ever saw. We're going to fix me up, and I always take the gas. They tell me my best stories come out that way. And you can actually get a doggy right there, napping in my lap, a little doggy. I said, go ahead, work away. Dr. Dina's a Navy vet, ranked a master dentist, which only 1% can say. She's been doing veneers since before anybody even knew what that was. My first visit was 30 years ago. Cosmetic dentistry, cleaning, bridges, crowns, especially keeping your teeth and gums healthy to last as long as you do. Veterans automatic 10% discount. Just tell them when you call. Atlanta Smiles, 404-262-7733. It's atlantasmiles.com. Your new smile's waiting for you. atlantasmiles.com. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Ask for the doggy. atlantasmiles.com.
Extra 106.3 is proud to continue on as the conservative voice of Atlanta.
We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country.
The Morning Extra, The Kimmer Show, Neil Bortz, local and national decision makers are all keeping it straight on the road toward the new Trump administration. This is Extra 106.3 FM and streaming across Georgia on the Extra 106.3 app.
Doug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra until 10. After we're done, it's the Glenn Beck program. Clay Travis and Buck Sexton follows him from noon until 3, and then 3 until 6. Like you heard, the Kimmer. The one, the only, the Kimmer. And there was some folks that came through the office, y'all, and they saw the Kimmer Babes magnet just on the...
Okay.
And this very sweet lady was like, who are the Kimmer Babes? And I was like, well, it's just, I think it's just a group. I don't think it's a formal group. I think it's just a lot of
If you identify,
yes, if
you're a Kimmer babe.
That's exactly right.
I could be a Kimmer babe.
I think it's if you're a female and Kimmer looks at you and says hi, you have automatically been inducted into his Kimmer babe category.
At least in his head.
Yes.
There's an old country song called "Watching Girls Go By." I'll let you look it up.
Yep.
And I think it probably goes right along with the whole Kimmer
Sir, my
thing.
truth is my truth.
No, yeah,
I'm a Kimmer babe if I want to be.
I would never argue
You
that.
are a Kimmer babe.
Thank
he
you.
loves you. He calls you the smart one, too.
Thank you for the recognition.
Yes.
That's right.
He
You get like a
lost
pin
it
or
yesterday. He was in the middle of
badge.
a conversation, and Erin, the sales girl, walked by. And he's like, "Oh, hi, Erin," and like in the middle of a segment, just kind of lost it. And then was like,
she walked by the window.
"Oh yeah," and then he was, "Well, what do you want from me? There's beautiful women like Amanda and Bella and Erin and all of these. I can't help it."
I met Aaron's fiance at one of our last station events, and that is now going to be the first story if I see him at the holiday party. I'm going to go. Just want you to know. There's a 78-year-old man who's now stalking your fiance through the window.
We don't think he's dangerous.
We don't think he's dangerous, but I just want to make you aware that the man can drive at night.
That's right. And he drives a NASCAR, so you'll hear him.
You'll
coming.
hear it when he's showing up.
When he comes down the street, and he'll have a Desert
Fair
Eagle.
warning.
So I don't know what he might do with the Desert Eagle, but I'm just telling you, you'll hear him, so you've got time to make your getaway.
As a new friend, I'm just letting you know.
That's right. Yeah, and Erin is so sweet. She's, as Lo said, in our sales department, and just lovely, sweet family, sweet three children, and we got a good bunch around here, man. But believe we got our flaws, each and every one of us, but we got a pretty good bunch around here, and it's fun to.
It's mostly you.
What? This the good bunch or with the flaws?
Oh no, the good bunch.
Oh, thank you. Well, believe me, I got flaws. I can make you a list. Woo, good
Wink.
Lord, take me.
Wink.
Months.
Take a look, Joe. Wink.
The good book told me I got flaws, and let me tell you, when you start reflecting on them, wow, I got a lot of them. Josh Hawley is a guy that we absolutely love around here, just because he doesn't hold back. He says the things that we want to hear our elected officials say, and Los, he runs circles around people. He makes them look foolish.
Sure does. The senator from Missouri, he was part of that committee hearing yesterday where they were talking about the impacts of illegal immigration and how we're going to have to protect American sovereignty and what's going to happen. Dick Durbin was leading the charge here, letting you know we can't get rid of these people. They're part of our society.
Yeah.
Take a listen to Josh Hawley as he shows he's got a picture of a 12-year-old young man behind him, and he decides, all of this fun talk that you're having, let's have real talk now.
Is it really such a bad idea to deport people like the criminal who killed this young man? This is Travis Wolf. He was 12 years old when he was killed. He was mowed down, and I do mean mowed down, in a car by an illegal immigrant, 12 years of age, walking along a sidewalk in my state of Missouri, mowed down by an illegal immigrant who I think also had a prior criminal record. Is this such a bad idea to deport the person who killed him?
And he asked them the question.
Yeah.
And I would love to see the person, and no one said yes. But
there were a lot of blank stares.
Just
like,
a lot. That's
I ain't
right.
going on the record on this.
But that's the thing, because Rhino, they're though they know the answer, they're at least many of those senators are not willing to say it aloud.
The importance of asking that question is to put it into their court. Here's the ball. Go ahead. Tell me that it's okay that Laken Riley is dead today. Tell me that this 12-year-old should have been run over by a convicted felon that somehow is driving around and shouldn't be here legally. Tell me. Go ahead. Is that okay? And none of them are going to answer yes, because they play the virtue signal game and play the game that, hey, all these people that are coming across are just looking for a better life, looking for asylum, looking for help. No, a lot of them are coming across that are criminals. And it's okay to get rid of people who are not good and not good to the other citizens. If you really want to protect people and care about people, then you understand that.
It was a show, and it was a show to your partners. We're trying. You want to keep wages down? We're trying. You want to have a permanent underclass that'll vote for you? We're trying. They recognize, this being the left, what they've had happen in the last 4 years. They have brought in 10 to 15 million people they believe are going to be the people that ensure their power for the next 30 years. They're telling everyone with yesterday, we are trying. We're trying to keep them here. We don't want to lose the momentum we've created with this.
That's correct. But then when you have people like Dick Durbin, and I know we'll get to him specifically a little later in the show, but he's trying to. I feel like he's on the wrong team. Though he wears our jersey, he's on the wrong team.
Oh, no. He's signaling to those partners as well. Remember, this is not just a Democrat issue.
Of course it's not.
This is your Chamber of Commerce Republicans that also love when they don't have to pay regular American citizens, let's say $15 an hour, when they can bring people in and pay them 10 or 11. We did some of the numbers on, it was a meatpacking facility, and how that place had saved themselves over the course of 1 year with 1,000 employees, $8.8 million in salaries.
Good Lord. But that's the thing. I do think, and I fall into the same trap as a lot of people. When you see the right jersey on, you automatically assume, and I know better, and I still fall for it. So I believe the American people do too. I see the right jersey on, and I immediately think, oh, they're on my side. And you cannot do that. And I don't know if it's because we're sports fans, you know, that we see a jersey and we're like, that guy's playing on our team. You have to realize that Dick Durbin, at least in this instance, is not on your team.
Well, remember, Dick Durbin and the discussion that has gone on when it comes to how this is going to be processed. You know, you have some places in the country that make a lot of sense where you would start this process from. Like Indianapolis is a central hub. You bring everybody in, you got the transportation to get them out. Part of the discussion point has been, we're sending you all to Chicago and we're sending you all out of there. Well, I mean, Dick Durbin is a Democrat from Illinois. He's screaming about, we can't do this here. How bad would it look under his watch in his state if you had Donald Trump and the rest of this administration rounding people up, sending them to Chicago, and putting them on planes from there?
Yeah, Dick Durbin is the progressive Democrat that I think he is. I mean, I never, would assume he's on my team at all. I mean, he's never run that he would be on my team. He's not America first. So, Dick Durbin is exactly who he came off as in this, that, oh, we need to protect this person. No, we don't. We don't have to protect anybody who broke the law to get here. There are laws. There are rules. It's that cut and dry. If you belong here, you should be here. If you don't, then and you want to be here, then go through the legal process of becoming a citizen. There's no other way to, explain that. He's not protecting the people of Illinois. He hasn't protected his own citizens. Right. He's made sure that all the facilities that are there that are supposed to be for citizens in those cities are being overrun. He doesn't care about the people.
Well, we had a city council meeting where you had one resident of Chicago after another showing up to complain about how much city services were going towards illegals rather than going to regular people in Chicago. This is going to be the next racist statement. You ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Americans for America.
Whoa.
Imagine that. Imagine that
Dump
this
that.
country
Dump that.
is for us. All right? We're here. We pay the taxes.
Yes.
We built this place. We're here. Here's who it's for. Now, the rest of y'all, I'm glad you want to come here, but we have a line.
Yeah.
And we have a legal process because every sovereign nation has to have borders and legality.
But when I say, I want to think that senators in America are wearing the America flag.
Wouldn't that be great?
That's the point I was trying to make, and I probably was confusing there. But I see these people, and I want them to do the right thing, and they are not willing to do the right thing ever for the American people. We need more Josh Hollies. That's what we need.
Dick Durbin's busy telling you, oh, listen, these people help keep your prices down. I'm doing it for America.
The left is looking for a Robin Hood, but has picked the wrong fella. Next on Extra 106.3. The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's Tug, and here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
If I had a wish for you, I would wish that you had a friend like Bernie Marcus, the founder of Home Depot, who passed away. What he did for Atlanta and Georgia is unmeasurable. A great man. I'll miss him dearly. So will the entire state.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
The holidays are happening at Diamonds Direct. Still rushing to finish your holiday shopping? Don't worry, we've got you covered. This weekend only, it's our last chance sale with 20% off virtually everything. Earrings, bracelets, pendants, and more. more. Plus, special financing options up to 5 years. But don't wait. This is your final opportunity to find the perfect gift at the best value before the holidays. Plus, special designer appearances. Visit us during extended holiday hours or shop online and pick up in store. Our 20% off last chance sale ends Sunday. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
Hey, Georgia neighbors, it's time to expect more from your Medicare Advantage. Discover Sonder Health's custom plans tailored just for Georgians. Saunders offers unique benefits, including special plans for those living with chronic conditions. Some plans even come with grocery or gas benefits to support your overall well-being. Sonder Health makes it easy to get the coverage you need. See for yourself what today's Medicare Advantage can do for you. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com, a healthier state of life. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO and PPO with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
I am Michael Green, chef and third-generation owner of Matthew's Cafeteria, located on Main Street in historic downtown Tucker, Georgia. We have been serving Southern comfort favorites since my grandparents opened the doors in 1955. 70 years later, Matthew's is still preparing those same recipes. Come in today, grab a tray and sit down to award-winning fried chicken, turkey and dressing, hand-peeled mashed potatoes, and made-from-scratch biscuits, pies, and cobblers. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 6 days a week. Come and see us today and experience the Matthew's way.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. Not available in Washington State.
This giving holiday season, what better way to say thank you for your service than to help veterans and their families find success after military service through the Warrior Alliance? Your support helps to connect warriors to services in critical areas such as housing, benefits, legal services, health and wellness, employment, and much more. The Warrior Alliance is changing thousands of lives for the better. In fact, the Military Times has ranked the Warrior Alliance the #1 nonprofit in the nation in their 2024 Best for Vets survey. Donate today at thewarrioralliance.org/donate.
From the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust, your best new follow on social media is Extra 1063. We're at XTRA 1063 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at Extra 1063 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice. WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Van Sant Law, vansantlaw.com.
He's jailed in Pennsylvania and wants to stay there. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. This suspected gunman in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson is fighting extradition to New York, where Luigi Mangione is charged with murder. His lawyer, Thomas Dickey, says Mangione is presumed innocent
until you're proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt, and I've seen zero evidence at this point.
Mangione shouted at reporters on the way to a Pennsylvania hearing where bail was denied. His writings ranting about health care and corporate greed are part of the investigation. His former roommate, R.J. Martin, tells Fox,
I feel strange because he was a great friend, and I would consider him, a close friend, and that somebody who would assassinate somebody is completely incompatible with the person that I lived with.
A man's under arrest in Washington in the alleged assault of a congresswoman. Nancy Mace, a Republican, posted on X that she was accosted by a pro-trans man last night, adding it will only make her double down. After last month, Mace introduced a bill to ban transgender women from using female restrooms at the Capitol. A mystery endures for unidentified flying objects.
Telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez at a House hearing. The FBI's Robert Wheeler Jr. answered.
That's right. That's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
Some lawmakers fear China could be somehow involved. The drones are big and have been spotted since mid-November. President Biden, on his way out of office soon, is boasting.
Most economists agree the new administration is going to inherit a fairly strong economy.
Now, he also warns that looming Trump tariffs on Canada and Mexico would be a major mistake, though economic worries were a main reason the president-elect won the White House again. In California, wildfire rages in Malibu, scorching 3,000 acres, burning down some homes. Thousands of people have evacuated and more might have to.
We highly encourage residents
in the fire areas to be prepared, have a plan.
Malibu Lost Hills Sheriff's Captain Jennifer Situ. America's listening to Fox News.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad Pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Get the Extra 106.3 app.
Yeah, I got your app. I live out here 30 miles west of Augusta. I'm so glad Conservative Talk is back on the air.
Doug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. Glad that you are here. Want to say top of the morning to you. Morning, y'all, if you will. We're going to talk about, and I told the fellas that I wanted to fast forward to 7:45 because there's a discussion that
it's a long tease.
I don't mean to. Look, I make mistakes all the time, every day. It's normal for me to make mistakes. But this one is a discussion about this whole drone mystery, if you will, above New Jersey. I look forward to talking about this because I don't know what it is. Los and Rhino know what it is. They know what it is. I don't know what it is. The military's telling me they don't know what it is. I don't believe that for 1 second. So anyway, that's the long tease. And I apologize, but it was just on my mind. I had to get off my chest.
Who do you have to call? Who's your Air Force brethren?
Yeah, my brother-in-law was captain of the Air Force, yes.
Why don't you text him?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, text him.
He should be up early. He should be up. It's probably, yeah, I'll do that here.
Tell him we'll put one of those voice fake.
Right.
What's your name?
Yes.
John
Yeah.
Doe.
Well, it's like the Burt Show. If y'all remember the Burt Show, they used to do and maybe still do, the voice disguiser. Do you remember that when people would call in and it would just they would sound like, somebody that's being interviewed on, I don't know, some big news channel, and they were witness and they're in, protective custody, and it was like, my name is Roger. It was that, whatever.
Are you telling me you want to hear a bit, somebody who's revealing the secrets of what these drones are?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I would love to hear that.
Okay.
Yes, I want to know.
Listen, we have to. I like going out with a bit of a laugh on a Friday. We'll see what we can do.
Come up with. Okay.
We might have a deep throat informant who lets us know about the drone technology out over in New York, New Jersey.
Yes, right. Joey, why are you pointing at yourself? Are you deep throat?
I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
I was
you're
pointing
not.
at my throat. I was like, why is that brought up?
Now, if you don't,
I might be the one flying the drones, though.
Could be, Joey.
He's not.
Yeah.
No, I know he's
You
not.
can barely hit the buttons over there. I don't think you're flying drones.
Reach out to the captain.
I will.
See what the captain has to say.
Okay, I'll do it in our next break. But
Cletus might have a better answer.
Cletus has always got an answer. Curtis. If you go to Curtis. Goodness, I'm afraid what the answer might be because it's probably drug induced, and you can never tell if you can listen to
Love
them.
these cousins.
No, look, I got plenty of them. You just tell me which ones you want to talk to, and we'll give them a ringle-ding, and he'll be on the ride of your life. I grew up with them. Man, I can tell you, I promise you. So I feel like in America we have it so backwards so often. We're always looking for the good. Most Americans are looking for the good. And it's going to take a while to get us turned around, and I think Donald Trump is part of that, getting America doing a drop step, doing an about face, and going, pardon me, in the right direction. Because some people are acting like Luigi Mangione, the killer of Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, is Robin Hood. Like from old English folklore and great American movies like starring Kevin Costner and Russell Crowe. Because those are two of the best. As I looked them up last night.
Yeah, it was like Kevin Costner basically stepped right in from Field of Dreams into Robin Hood.
Yeah, he did. And the soundtrack was so good.
He's always the same person in every movie.
Always.
I do it for you.
It's not a lot of range, but that man's a movie star.
Yes, he is. And was brave enough, off subject, brave enough to leave the biggest TV show and not even look back, not even think about looking back. Talking about Yellowstone.
Yeah.
He and the creator, Tyler Sheridan, get along, so he's like, I'm out.
Which he
And-
was playing the same character from Robin Hood.
He was, just in a different uniform.
The bodyguard,
Yeah,
Robin.
all of it.
It's all the same.
Same character.
That's exactly right. They say that that Brian Thompson deserved what he got, and the killer was basically taking from the rich to give to the poor. That's the way it's been framed.
Mm-hmm.
And liberals, of course, the left, they have it all wrong. This kid was loaded. Why didn't he give his wealth to the poor instead of stealing a husband and a father from innocent family members, his innocent wife? And look, I have no reason to think he was guilty, Brian Thompson, but his innocent children too. And if they were looking for a Robin Hood, y'all, the only thing I could think is I was watching just social media last night and was dipping around for a couple news channels and listening to these clowns talk about Luigi Mangione. If they were looking for a Robin Hood, why didn't they look to Daniel Penny? This is the one that they continue to put down, to talk poorly about, to say he shouldn't have gone for a beer after he was, found innocent, found not guilty. He shouldn't have done that. Like, what are you talking about? This man was a U.S. Marine. He's not a rich man. He sacrificed for the United States of America, and he sacrificed for the United States Marine Corps, and he sacrificed himself on that subway car to protect ever how many people fit in a subway car. If you're looking for Robin Hood, that's your Robin Hood.
Yeah, you would think that. Or even, look, they're so hypocritical about all of this, and that's what this is. And again, I don't think we should be pumping this guy up, but the media is pumping him up as a hero. This guy's not a hero. This guy's a piece of garbage. And, in reality, Daniel Penny is the hero, and you're right. They should be pumping him up, but they won't, because it's easier to virtue signal away from that, because they've weaponized their government, so now they cover their tracks. The left doesn't get upset about the fact that Yak Gotti and, of course, all the YSL defendants went out and partied after they were found innocent, and even though there's still dead bodies everywhere that were actually murdered. I mean, there are bullet holes in those bodies. They don't know, and these people might not have been guilty of killing those people. But the fact of the matter is this: nobody complained about them going out and celebrating. Yeah, the left has it all wrong. It's all about virtue signal. It's all about picking sides, and if they can't make a common sense thought, I see this completely wrong. I understand the healthcare industry needs a lot of work. I understand that there are people who take advantage of everyone. I get that too. But to kill a man, whether you like him or not, I don't know. He might have been a bad guy. I don't know Brian Thompson. I don't know what he's done in his past. I don't know what he sold. I know that he sold a lot of stock to go ahead and short it and do some of the things that he's done. I don't know, but I know he didn't deserve to die. I know a father didn't need to be taken away and a husband.
This is doubling down on stupid.
It is.
If the election wasn't the perfect example of doubling down on stupid, that they actually have taken identity politics and said, maybe we're not giving you enough identity politics. Maybe the media needs to look at themselves and go, maybe we should change our messaging. Because when you see a Marine who's handling somebody on a subway where multitudes of people help who are also black, and then multitudes of people also say, we felt like he protected us, that's not your Robin Hood story. Instead, it is somebody from a very wealthy background who disappeared off the face of the earth, and when he showed back up, he decided he was going to kill someone who was a CEO of an insurance company. And for some reason, that's the one we're expressing gratitude toward.
And I know you're really into the, serial killer documentaries. He's almost achieved that status where women, because I saw it blowing up on social media.
Oh, they were celebrating him.
They're celebrating this dude, and they're saying how hot he is, and oh my gosh, I need to be with this guy. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you guys are, you women are nuts. And then there was even a few dudes.
Here's how nuts they are. They were doing memes, because remember, the left can't meme. We've established this. They're missing context and humor and comedy. But their meme was, here's our shooter, here's theirs, and it's Kyle Rittenhouse. Well, we're talking about the difference in a man who defended himself against three would-be killers. In fact, one of them who was using the N-bomb all night, they have to pretzel themselves over him shooting and killing that person. But then going to a guy who shot somebody in cold blood who was walking down the street. These were three attackers that we have video on versus this is the person you're holding up as this is our guy?
Yeah, those people are lost. They're just completely lost at this point. And it's more of almost trolling. Like, well, first of all, let me tell these women this.
That.
Yeah,
I do believe you're right about that.
Yeah, they're, watch how mad the right gets about this. Look at every one of those accounts. I got news for them, though. As much as you think he's hot and all that, he can't have sex. So you can back off of him.
But there's rules. We talk about the rules. And the rules on their side will go, all right, I got to run this filter initially through race. All right, who is the assailant? Oh, the person who's being accused of is white. Who is the potential victim? He's black. Okay, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now I have to then go, all right, what does my community say I have to say in order to remain in good standing? It wouldn't matter if you had the situation where Jordan Neely was armed to the teeth and this occurred to him. They would still have to say, that was a black man in distress and he was taken out by a white man. And so that initially has to be the very first and foremost thing, not the facts of the case.
No, that's right.
Not any of the information. Them's the rules.
But it's interesting that there's so many black people on social media that are saying, y'all got this way wrong. Jordan Neely is the bad guy in this story. And they're brave enough to say it, even though on social media, they're going to be excoriated. They're going to be put down. They're going to be probably called names just like Daniel Penny. But they understand right from wrong, and they know, I can't stand for this. I'm going to say this is wrong. I'm going to call it what it is.
Maybe this is just the way I was raised, but I never looked at myself as being in some sort of tribe. That it was me and my own standing, and me then judging other people.
I feel like I'm in an American tribe, or at least that's where I want to be.
But what happens is within certain communities, normally minority communities, like for instance, if you're in an Asian community, you might look at other people that are Asian and give them the benefit of the doubt no matter what they've been accused of, and you'll also take part in their accomplishments.
Yeah.
What goes on at times, especially on Black Twitter, it's that when you are a black man or woman who says something honest like, you know what, I'm glad somebody dealt with that homeless guy. Ooh. I would have been concerned with my family. The rest of the tribe gets in a bunch and says, what do you mean? You're not black if you say that.
Yeah.
Well, who are you to say that I'm not this or that, depending on an opinion that I have when it comes to putting myself in the situation and wanting the safety of my family first and foremost?
It happens in the Jewish community a lot, too.
Sure.
And it's really funny because my ex-mother-in-law, no Jew could ever do anything bad. Like, if he was Jewish and the name was Jewish, and let's say it was a serial killer, it'd be like, well, his mom wasn't really Jewish. So it was his father who was, and it's got to be by the blood of the mother. And they will make excuses a lot of times for that. And when you sit there and go, no, this is just a bad person. Don't worry about what he is. Don't look at him as a Jew. This is a person who killed someone. They're an awful person. And sometimes when you speak that, they're like, I can't believe you'd go against your own religion. I mean, it happened to me so many times throughout life that I talked about somebody who was bad that's a Jew. We have to get away from that because that's the virtue politics that these politicians, they know. They feed on you when they see that. They're like, this is an easy victory for me. This will give me an easy speech, and no one will question me at this point.
You can imagine when the joke starts of backing Bernie Madoff. It's like because he's Jewish.
Yeah.
Like hold on. No, I'm telling you, this guy stole from a lot of people.
Yeah, he was one of them.
Wrong guy.
But you will have people within the community going, listen, they made this stuff up about him. That it's this tribal nature. And again, I've never subscribed to any of that. Ever.
Neither have I.
It makes no sense. I want to be in the tribe of right. And I don't mean politically. I just mean correct. I want to be on the right side of things. I want to look at them honestly and say, hey, this happened, and here's the right thing. This is the way it should play out if everything goes correctly.
One of the aspects of this business, and I believe for any of you out there, I'm more than happy that y'all listen. I'm glad that you do.
And appreciative.
I'm glad you're in that 1% of people that want to be informed, and then you want to have opinions on this sort of stuff. And I get it. Sometimes you will take one of our opinions, and you might make it your own, but that's why I always say look into stuff so that you can articulate it. When it's your own opinion, you can explain where it comes from. And I think that ends up being the big joke that goes on with some of this online trolls or any of these articles where they will tell you, well, Daniel Penny's a criminal. Okay, well, explain it. Well, I can't.
I just know he is because I've been told he is.
I was told he was. Yeah. Like, if you can't explain your scenario and the way you got there, understand that argument will never hold water.
404-741-1230. Al, what is up, man?
Hey, great show again today. Thanks a lot for taking my call. Listen, guys, I'm not condoning this CEO's assassination by any stretch of the imagination, but there is another side to this story that I think is being missed. If you've ever been on the receiving end of one of these, it's not medically necessary letters, especially when your doctor is telling you it's medically necessary, a lot of people see that as life or death for themselves.
But you just said
And
not
then,
necessary.
You combine that. I had an insurance company one time that denied treatment for me, and now it's to the point that they can't even fix what the problem is. I had another insurance company that literally changed my occupation in order to deny a claim. Now, if I provide an insurance company with incorrect information, that's insurance fraud. They do it, it's good business. That's what needs to change.
But Al, you're going to go shoot the guy.
Yeah, but
Did you go shoot someone? No,
he didn't. Yes,
there are legal fights that you might need to take. Look, nobody's thinking that these insurance. There are a lot of insurance companies I don't like, and I'm not going to go off on them now. But they do make bad mistakes. They do stupid things, and it is a fight you don't want to get involved in. I fought with the insurance company for so long on medical issues. I ended up, getting what I needed and getting to a point where I was like, okay, now we're at a fair point here. But it took a lot of work, and it's frustrating. But I never thought, hey, you know what I'm going to do? Go shoot the place up.
Same way with car insurance. I mean, there's been those moments like if you're in a fender bender and it's not your fault and you end up having to pay for something or having to sue, so you don't have you do what is necessary. Yes, these companies they're in it to make money for sure, and they're going to fight tooth and nail. I'm with you, but I think Rhino hits the nail on the head. It doesn't mean you go out and kill someone in cold blood because it's a company decision. It's a corporate decision. It doesn't come from one person.
Well, and I think I get where Al's coming from.
Yeah, me too. I understand.
It's a personal aspect for him. Sure. I will tell you, when you talk about having your occupation changed in order for them to, and it's not a mistake, their job
Most likely.
is to not pay you out. That's the job.
That's right.
I had a similar situation with a home where I was told, well, you live in a condominium. I'm like, no, clearly I do not.
Well, explain what that is, though, so it makes sense.
So for when Hurricane Michael occurred, we have a single-family home in Florida, and again, it's nearly just wrecked. First 8 feet just full of water. And when I had my policy, the first part of the policy is $10,000 to get remediation going. And I'm told by the insurance adjuster, they're not going to pay you the $10,000. I said, why not? Said, they're claiming you live in a condominium. I didn't. It's a single-family home. But because the address of the community we were in listed it as B10, they used that. Even though the policy said it was not a condominium, it was a single-family home, they used that to then not pay. It wasn't until I had to go to war about this stuff that they finally were like, okay, we're messing up. He's going to make it public. Send him his check. That's the fight, and it's constantly a fight. But at no point did I ever think I need to go drive and shoot the CEO.
That's exactly right. That's the thing that I just...
There's pure anger, horrible anger.
Absolutely. But what do you do with the anger? You take that and you go fight for your side, your cause.
And by the way, and Al, this will hopefully give you just a little silver lining. By the time I was done tweeting and writing and posting about these people and sharing pictures and everything else, the vice president of the insurance company called me up to say that I was being unfair.
Yeah.
And when I explained, I think here's the problem, and I'm going to take this public as well, that check showed up the next day.
There you go.
Overnighted.
Yeah, you yell and scream on the phone. I say bad words, and I get mad, and I talk. I go up the ladder as high as I can until I get an answer that acceptable. I don't go down and blow the place up, shoot it up, or shoot somebody.
Pretty crazy. Absolutely crazy. Get ready. More ridiculous Biden pardons are coming. Talk about it after the headlines on Extra 106.3, Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station.
Hey, it's Flounder, and the Kimmer Show is live every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m.
This is a man who was a Nazi, and he just got the Jews and the Muslims to come together and vote for him. He's the worst Nazi ever.
And the black people. You got and Nazis don't really like black people either.
I mean, Jews and Muslims came together.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for the weekly radio show Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. This week's guest is Georgia Department of Community Supervision Commissioner Michael Nail. Tune in on Saturdays or catch up on all past episodes wherever you get your podcasts or at thepodcastpark.com.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on the station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to firstlibertyga.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to firstlibertyga.com. That's firstlibertyga.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
The holidays are happening at Diamonds Direct. Still rushing to finish your holiday shopping? Don't worry, we've got you covered. This weekend only, it's our last chance sale with 20% off virtually everything. Earrings, bracelets, pendants, and more. Plus special financing options up to 5 years. But don't wait. This is your final opportunity to find the perfect gift at the best value before the holidays. Plus special designer appearances. Visit us during extended holiday hours or shop online and pick up in store. Our 20% off last chance sale ends Sunday. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
When it comes to protecting your assets and ensuring peace of mind, trust the expertise of Nelson Eldercare Law. Our Absolute Protection Trust is designed to provide unparalleled asset protection. Visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com to discover how our specialized services can safeguard your family's future and assets, offering you the assurance you deserve. NelsonElderCareLaw.com.
Foundation repair isn't pretty, but at Atlanta Ramjack, we make it easy. If you notice any cracks in your foundation, they need to be addressed as soon as possible to reduce additional costs that come with the repair. Why call us? Foundation repair is all we do. We have highly trained estimators that will thoroughly evaluate your home and only recommend what is needed. If you are experiencing foundation problems, please contact us at ramjack.com/Atlanta or call us at 770-502-8881.
For the purpose of this commercial, we'll refer to erectile dysfunction as Ed. This is the story of Ed. No one likes Ed. Ed can be a real problem, a real downer. Ed can come between you and your partner. And if you let Ed go unchecked, Ed'll continue to destroy your hanky-panky plans. Ed has taken over your life. On date night, all you can think about is Ed. When you roll over in bed for the morning smooch, there's Ed. And when you're cooking a romantic dinner for your wife, there's Ed in an apron. So how do you get rid of Ed? Kick him to the curb with Total Body Therapy of Georgia. They're Ed experts. They understand what causes Ed to be Ed, and they know how to get Ed going in the right direction. He'll learn to stand on his own with proven all-natural therapies that don't require surgery or downtime. So if you've had enough of Ed, take matters into your own hands. Call Total Body Therapy of Georgia at 404-777-1911. Learn more online at tbtofga.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines. Presented by RBM of Atlanta, your Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Wednesday, December 11th. Minnie Turner, a 60-year-old science teacher at Tucker High School, is off the job after being arrested and charged with DUI on Monday morning. Students reported that Turner was driving back to school after picking up food during the first period when she hit another car. The other driver followed her detour back to the school parking lot where Turner reportedly struck additional vehicles. In a statement from the DeKalb County School District, Turner has been placed on administrative leave and is prohibited from entering DeKalb County School District property until the investigation is complete. Rain will be moving out later this morning, making way for cold temperatures and strong winds. Wind gusts of up to 30 miles per hour are expected this afternoon. Combined with the wet grounds from recent heavy rainfall, there is a potential for trees to come down. Be careful. Temperatures are forecast to drop into the low to mid-40s by this afternoon. And in sports, Atlanta Braves pitcher Max Fried has agreed to an 8-year, $218 million contract with the New York Yankees, according to the Associated Press. The deal marks the largest contract in history for a left-handed pitcher. Fried departs the Braves after 8 seasons, a World Series title, and 3 Gold Glove awards. With your headlines, Scott Rhino, Extra 106.3.
7 o'clock hour brought to you by Van Sant Law. If you're in an accident, make the right call. VanSantLaw.com. Tug, Rhino, and Los. I just read, Rhino, that today is National App Day. National App Day.
Like appetizer?
Well,
or?
but see, that's the question. I don't know the answer. I just read. Is it app on your phone or is it appetizer? I assume app on your phone.
Yeah.
Because app is, well, but I guess app is short for application. App is short for appetizer. But
you're just asking about Applebee's. If it's National App Day, it's a good day to go. And they got good apps over at.
Yes, they do.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. I've not been to an Applebee's in a long, long time.
I don't know where one is, to be honest with you.
I don't.
There's one across the street.
Yes, the Rhino. There's one across
Where?
the street. Do you not know?
Other side
Atlanta
of Cobb
Sports-
Parkway. Like you're heading to the QT or Panda Express.
That's the bad side of town. I don't go over there.
That's way over there. Yeah. That's at least a mile and a half into the bad area of Cobb Parkway. Goodness. No, but that was the funny thing because I had no other reason to bring it up is that I was confused. Is it app on your phone, National App Day, or National App Day, your favorite app where you go to eat? I guess Joey's giving me
it's the one on your phone.
I think so,
but
too.
we can pretend it's appetizer day.
Well, yeah.
What do you do for
Because I
National
prefer
App Day?
apps.
Nothing. I don't do anything for anything National Anything Day. But again, the only reason I brought it up is because I was confused. But I don't know if I guess my solitaire would be my favorite app on my phone if because that's the one I go to when I'm bored. I just go and play solitaire. I don't know why, because it's really boring. It prolongs your boredom.
I mean, I guess X would probably be my number one used one.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I go through games. I get into a game for a while, and then I realize I'm playing this way too much. And then I delete it, and then I'll bring it back a few months later. So maybe some of those games are I don't know.
Favorite appetizer would have to be. I don't know.
Mine's chips and cheese.
Yes, that one. Or at Longhorn Steakhouse, which hadn't been there in, I don't know, it's been forever either with their firecracker chicken wraps. But anyway.
Not the peanuts?
I don't think they have peanuts in Longhorn.
Oh, no, Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse.
They
got one of those on Walnut Avenue in Dalton, Georgia. Yes, they do.
Walnut Avenue in Dalton, Georgia. Shout out.
Holla if you hear me. No, but, because at that, when you bring that up, Los, used to, you could just throw the peanut shells on the floor. That was the thing.
Right. Can you not do that anymore?
I don't think so. I think they put a halt to that.
So growing up in New York, we had this place called the Ground Round, and that was the deal. You throw all the
Ground Round. I like that.
Yeah.
That's clever.
You throw all the shells and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, some old lady slipped and fell on it, and they were like, that's it, done. You can't do that anymore. But I was at the Texas Roadhouse in Montgomery, Alabama, and they're like, yeah, we don't care, throw it on the floor.
Yeah, but they do it right over there.
Yeah.
They're living right. And I was always told, though, the reason that they do that, it was because it was the oil from the peanut shells of the peanuts was good for the hardwoods.
It is.
And
it's easier to sweep up messes like other dirts and stuff. That oil helps pick up a lot of the dirt and dust.
I could understand that your favorite app is your Extra app. It's not mine, but it's top 3. Maybe top 4. But I understand if you're listening, it is your favorite. But it's not mine. But it's top 4.
Well, start over. I was distracted.
Just for the listeners out there, I understand that Extra is your favorite app.
Yes.
I just said it's not mine.
Okay.
But it's top 4.
Which one is your favorite?
Waze.
Waze, yeah, because you use it the most.
Then probably X.
Because there's a difference in favorite and most used, right? Because your most used might not actually be your favorite.
Waze is not my most used.
Oh,
it's just my most favorite.
Oh, okay.
Especially when you travel a lot, you can find anything you need.
Okay, there you go. Waze. I've never used Waze.
I mean, if I was to try to use Xtra to find something from 3 to 6, good Lord.
Because they don't give you any traffic updates or weather, you'd be completely lost.
My God!
Every 6 minutes, you're
Oh
just
my
sitting there-
God!
just sitting there so confused, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what the weather is. You can't look out the windshield and see it yourself.
But top four for sure.
Well, now, I mean, is it bad of me to ask? Like, what are the Waze is 1 and
Waze,
and
X.
4. Waze, X. What's the third? I mean,
Probably Uber Eats.
We're getting text from the boss now.
No. Actually, Extra's my favorite 100%. There's no other app for me than the Extra 1063 app. Personal favorite.
Company man. I told you top 4. What do you want?
Here we go.
Like, it's going to get a medal.
We just got an eye roll out of our
I'm going to get a 3.
person we work for.
I give it my 3rd. I mean, that definitely is. Once they make some better,
favorite.
we got some work to do on the app a little bit. Once we get that done, I think it'll be number 1 again.
Once
We'll put some money behind it, get things going.
Once it can order food to my house, then
Maybe
I'm going to
that's
be
an
like,
integration.
Number 1.
Yeah. Maybe that's an integration we can suggest for the
Extra
app.
and Applebee's. Both to my house.
Or can you integrate Waze? Can you integrate Google directions?
I have an idea.
Called.
Let's start with, when you open the app, it has a list of the, especially the 2 local shows that you could just tap on one and it'll automatically pull up that show instead of having to go search for it. That would make it number 1 in mine.
But we understand that you can listen live on demand, and that's a good reason.
That's great for that.
Anyway.
See, I was never complaining.
No. Well, look,
now I am. I want to get in trouble too.
My thing is, there's always things you can make better. Always.
Not Uber Eats. It's pretty awesome.
Not the Extra app. That's my number 1 favorite app of all time. Number 2, 680 The Fan. Number 3, YouTube, so I can watch Extra.
680 is great. 680 is like one of my favorite apps. So like, especially with Brave season.
But they're the exact same app. They work the same way, so you'd have the same arguments.
You go look at the way there's a setup. It's much better. You can actually go through and find good cuts and bits of what they did.
Okay.
You can see John Michaels, the Capuchin monkey, and what he did for his slice of life or whatever. Yeah, pretty cool.
All right, then there you go. Hunter Biden was a pardon that was given out, and even those on the left were like, what in the absolute world is going on? It's insane. If he didn't do anything, why does he need a nearly 11-year pardon blanket? And then, Rhino, there's more to come. This is just that one. Maybe you use that one as the shocker, so nobody even pays attention to the following.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's just an old doddering man who didn't really think this through and really doesn't have any support anywhere else. Because the reality is, pardoning Hunter is very important for him. It will protect the big guy. It'll protect a lot of that. But the problem is that the House, the Senate, they're going to continue looking into the corruption of the Biden crime family, Ukraine, and other family members who have had, I don't know, maybe some money put into their accounts, like, I don't know, Haley Biden, James Biden, Jill Biden. There are so many Bidens out there that have been a part of this family scheme. They should probably get pardoned soon. I mean, I would assume if Biden thinks this through or somebody around him goes, hey, by the way, you can't give blanket pardons to Jill and James and Haley to 2014. What are you going to do if they're subpoenaed? What are you going to do? Because they don't qualify for that pardon.
20 shell companies, if you're creative financially, maybe you have some employment that isn't taxed. And so if you do, you've probably set up your own small company where you paid your kids. All right, that's how you reduce your tax liability. All right, when you're getting the money by the ways that the Bidens reportedly were, how do you explain handling $100,000 to, let's say, a 10-year-old niece? How do you explain that money?
Yeah.
Because I can explain where the other dollars I got. It's like, listen, I went and did this radio show.
Yeah.
I did it for 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Here's how they paid me.
Here's my 1099.
Right. Here's my 1099 to explain this. That is where these blanket pardons are going to be issues. How many do you have to put out there without speculating or projecting what they're supposed to be used for?
I don't think they care if anybody asks what they're used for. I mean, because we know that Hunter's being nearly 11 years long,
But if you pardon Joe Biden.
Right, yeah. But
because part of the money was distributed through some sort of shell company that maybe had her name attached to it in some weird way. If you're not saying what you're pardoning somebody for, then what are you pardoning them for?
Yeah, what are they guilty of?
But Joe doesn't seem to care about that.
But what have they been accused of?
What have they done?
Well, these pardons, when you've had them over the course of history, it's been because, like, for instance, Rod Blagojevich sold a Senate seat, and he did his time. And Donald Trump decided, I'm turning you loose. I'm taking this off your record. This is part of just some healing we're going to do here. I'm going to protect you. All right, we knew what he did, and the pardon was specific to what he did.
Sure.
Yep.
What did Jill do?
I don't know the answer.
What did Hunter do?
But
What did
that's
Hunter
what I'm
do
saying.
in 2014?
But that's what I'm saying, though. When he hands them out to Jill and James, he's headed out. He's riding off into the sunset. It ain't going to matter.
It won't matter to him.
No, it won't. Right. He'll leave chaos in the wake behind him for sure. And the Democrats are going to have to suffer the brunt of it, which, to be honest, is fine. Now that most of the Bidens, and will he pardon himself for that matter? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that'll be the one when he pardons himself, and he must, or maybe he don't. Maybe he don't have to pardon himself because he's already been shown. I mean, Jack Smith said he's a dementia patient. He wouldn't be found guilty by jury, not because he's not guilty, but because people will feel remorse or sorry for him because he has dementia.
Yeah.
So does that kind of carry over? And Donald Trump goes, I'm not opening this can of worms. He's in really bad shape anyway.
Yeah.
So he doesn't feel the need to pardon himself, but everybody else gets one. Like you're talking about, brother, sister, family, daughter-in-law, grandkids, everybody.
Donald Trump has already said that he's not looking backwards, not looking to the past, and probably won't go after Joe Biden and some areas. But the other family members are on the table. And maybe Donald Trump doesn't, but maybe other people do. We've already learned that it doesn't matter that you were found like, we don't need to go to trial with this. We can't go to trial with this. They said that in New York, that Donald Trump wasn't guilty of any of the crimes that they ended up making into felonies, even though they were past the statute of limitations. So there are ways to get around it. But the reality of it is this. Joe Biden could be called in. If they really want to go for him, they could get him on the classified documents. They can bring him back in. It doesn't matter that you've got a whole new special counsel coming in, a whole new DOJ, whole new FBI to do investigation. I would rather see them say, hey, we're not going to go after Joe. We're going to let him ride the sunset, get out of here, go, bye. But here's all the information, and we're making it public to see exactly the kind of corruption Democrats are guilty of.
So you have an 1866 court ruling. It's a Supreme Court ruling. And we maybe jump into this, end up later this week.
Story time. Yeah.
It was made, and the reason why the ruling mattered, it's because when this nation was attempting to heal from the Civil War, it became these blanket pardons that the president could offer either before or after prosecution in the interest of, all right, we're going to pardon you over what you may have done or what we think you may have done. And again, the healing of the country. You're using 1866 power when it comes to Joe Biden to issue pardons based on stuff that you haven't been accused of yet.
So you're saying he's corrupting.
He's taking legal precedent and applying it in a way
that's not usually applied in that way, and corrupting it.
And was done in 1866 to help heal the country. The Supreme Court found the president had the power to do this in order to help heal the country.
Corruption runs in the Biden family name.
Oh, you'll love this story if you jump into
it. Buddy, it would be the least surprising thing that you would present this week that there was corruption in the Biden family or the Biden administration. Even if it is a law or a precedent set by the Supreme Court to help heal. Biden's like, no, let's corrupt that too. We can't leave any stone unturned. When we continue on Extra 106.3, America, we have a drone problem. And this is the conversation that I wanted to get to in the very beginning of this hour. So stick around. This could be a adventurous ride. Next on Extra 106.3. Make sure you download that Extra 106.3 app. Your favorite app. It will become your favorite app. You'll be able to listen to live and on demand to the Morning Extra. Glenn Beck program, Clay and Buck in the local afternoon show with the Kimmer 3 until 6. Download it right now for Apple or Android.
road from now to Inauguration Day is bound to be littered with fake news and doomsday media, which is why Extra 106.3 is proud to continue as the conservative voice of Atlanta.
This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before.
The Morning Extra, The Kimmer Show, Neil Boritz, local and national decision makers are all coming to the table as we inch closer toward the new Trump administration. We're live every day on 106.3 FM, live video on YouTube, and streaming across Georgia on the Extra 106.3 app.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPSETC.com.
At the Piedmont Bank, we're proud to be one of Georgia's largest community banks, focusing on serving businesses and the communities they serve. With headquarters right here in Metro Atlanta, our tailored banking expertise and solutions help meet the diverse needs of our customers so they have what it takes to grow, expand, and thrive. It's what elevates us above the rest. Find a location near you at Piedmont.bank and experience elevated banking for you and your business. The Piedmont Bank. Banking elevated. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
The annual Polar Bear Plunge is coming, and we need your help. Right now, you can help us raise money for Special Olympics Georgia athletes to provide year-round sports training and athletic competitions in a variety of different sports. All participants will collect pledges from friends and family in exchange for the opportunity to jump into the icy waters of Ackworth Beach in the middle of February. All proceeds will benefit the 17,700-plus athletes of Special Olympics Georgia. To sign up and learn more, visit SpecialOlympicsGeorgia.org or Extra1063.com. And click on the banner.
Are you tired of dealing with drafty, inefficient windows? Do you have certain rooms in the house that you can't keep cool in the summer or warm in the winter? Hi, I'm Dan Watkins with All Four Seasons Garage Entry Doors and Windows. It's time to upgrade these old windows. Replace them with double pane, beautiful, energy efficient windows. Your new windows will help you regulate a perfect temperature throughout your house. Start saving big money on your energy bills and improve the curb appeal of your home. Give us a call today at 770-517-7078.
Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House. It's a great day in America. Congratulations, President Trump, on your decisive victory. And now, in other news, the Safe House has the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. And through the end of the year, we're offering huge rebates on all Browning safes. But wait, there's more. All gun safes are sales tax free at Atlanta Safe House. Yes, sales tax free. And remember, folks, don't let a crackhead or an illegal move or deliver your safe. So come down to the showroom or go to AtlantaSafehouse.com.
Sequoia National Golf Club is located 45 minutes west of Asheville, North Carolina, and nestled among the oak, fir, and flowered valleys in the heart of the Great Smoky Mountains. Owned by the Eastern Band of the Cherokee, this Robert Trent Jones II design offers an idyllic 18-hole journey filled with panoramic vistas on every hole, beautiful landscapes, and a fun mountain golf experience. Enjoy a relaxed lunch or afternoon beverage on the outdoor deck with 180-degree views of the Great Smoky Mountains. The surrounding community also provides golfers a welcoming environment that is rich with Native American culture and exciting year-round attractions. Sequoia National Golf Club is just 4 miles from Harrah's Cherokee Casino Resort. And just a short drive from Atlanta, experience a fun afternoon of golf with your friends or stick around for an epic stay-and-play weekend. Experience mountain golf at its finest and then go hit the casino floor. Book your tee time at SequoiaNational.com. That's SequoiaNational.com. Experience the majesty and beauty of Sequoia National, mountain golf at its finest.
Who doesn't want a great smile? The world seems brighter because it is. Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? You know, that's only one reason to see my dentist, Dr. Dina Giesler at Atlanta Smiles. The other reason, of course, is to take care of your teeth, or they're going to make your life miserable. We all know that. But when's the last time you were smiling before you walked in the door like me? Because I know Dr. Dina and her staff are the happiest Kimmer babes you ever saw. We're going to fix me up, and I always take the gas. They tell me my best stories come out that way. And you can actually get a doggy right there napping in my lap, a little doggy. I said, go ahead, work away. Dr. Dr. Dina's a Navy vet, ranked a master dentist, which only 1% can say. She's been doing veneers since before anybody even knew what that was. My first visit was 30 years ago. Cosmetic dentistry, cleaning, bridges, crowns, especially keeping your teeth and gums healthy to last as long as you do. Veterans automatic 10% discount. Just tell them when you call. Atlanta Smiles, 404-262-7733. It's atlantasmiles.com. Your new smile's waiting for you. atlantasmiles.com. Tell them the Kemmer sent you. Ask for the doggy. atlantasmiles.com.
Wherever you are in Georgia, you can stream Xtra 106.3 and crystal clear digital with the all-new Xtra 106.3 app. Get Xtra's live on-air stream in real time, or go back and listen to all your favorite shows, Neil Bortz, or original podcasts, no matter where you go. Grab the Xtra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
It is likely to be your favorite app. As soon as you download it, you are going to love the Xtra 106.3 app. Is that not right, fellas?
Oh, yes. The Xtra 106.3 app is the greatest app ever invented of all time, and you should all have it and tell everybody you know, including your friends.
The application helped Donald Trump win the 2024 election and has delivered a resounding victory for the conservative movement.
I feel like this is one of those moments like on The View. Do you have a statement to read?
Wait, I do. And good news. We were just informed that our Xtra 106.3 app will be getting better and better as we try to improve the app and make it more accessible, just like Rhino said earlier today, and it will be done.
Redesigning it. We hear that there's a redesign of the Xtra 106.3 app, but the beauty is that you can listen live and on demand. Everything we've talked about throughout the morning, if you've missed any of it, want to go back and consume it, then we certainly appreciate you doing that.
All right, like Sonny Hostin.
Yeah.
That's right. Pissed off. You have to read the...
I mean, it's no homescapes, but...
You have to read the statement.
Apparently, we have something from the attorneys. Here, read this, Sonny.
They would like for you to read this to CYA.
Sorry, I get a legal note.
I guess it would be COA, cover hour. We have a drone problem, boys and girls, and the military says they don't know what it is. The federal government says they don't know what it is. I don't believe that. One second. But that's what they say.
Let's start with Representative of New Jersey, Chris Smith, because these drones, which have typically been out to sea in these areas off the coast of Virginia, off the coast of California,
New Jersey too,
typically operating in areas where we have military bases, military installations, military flights going. Ooh. These drones are out there. This is Chris Smith talking about his experience in trying to get a look at some of this stuff.
So last night I was on the beach in Island State Park in Ocean County with the sheriff. He has been working it every single night. He's got his own tethered drones chronicling. One of his officers 2 nights ago saw 50 drones come in off the ocean right there. So we thought maybe they'll replicate it. They didn't, but we thought it was a possibility. Last night we had a number of other people there, including a commanding officer from the Coast Guard, who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water, followed right behind them.
All right, let's establish this. Mm-hmm. They are real.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Right, so what's happening, yeah. They are out there. Yeah. This is happening. They maneuver in ways that we are not able to understand because we do not have, at least on the books, at least in our possession, technology that can do this stuff. At least not that we know.
So they say.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. It's not like we have this stuff. So the question becomes, is this our stuff? Is this an adversary stuff? Or is this neither?
Or is it a combination of the two? Because it could be that too. There is so much that the military is. I mean, the replicator program itself that the United States military and the Pentagon are working on, which is supposed to be at some point deployed to protect Taiwan. That's the intent of that entire program, at least in the beginning, and then I guess they'll use it in other places too. But the replicator program is supposedly, everything I've read about it, the most advanced technology in drones that that is available, humanly possible. I'm sure they're selling me a little bit of a bag, a line because they want it to appear that way. Why would they do anything but promote it? I don't know, man. I just think that there's so many. If you look at what's happening in Africa, if you look at what's happening all over the Middle East, drones are being used to fight against Americans. Drones are being used to fight for Americans. That's what it all boils down to me. It's pretty simple.
You need to identify it. Otherwise, I'm going to believe that it's probably us that's doing this and we're trying things out and practicing, because I think you need to let people know whether it's a national security issue, if it's China again or somebody else that's flying these over, or bad people. We need to get the answers to this, though. It could be very dangerous.
Oh, this could be a possible show of strength that we have this technology and that it's better than yours. We talked about one of the benefits, perhaps the only benefit of what's going on in Ukraine between the Ukrainians and the Russians, is that we've seen what modern warfare now looks like. It's drone-oriented. It's all drone-oriented. We are now looking, and we've had Elon Musk even bring this up. He's done it on Twitter. The idea of having a squadron of F-18s at, let's say $30 to $50 million a plane, that's going away.
Because there's no need for it when you can use a $5,000 drone that can do everything that F-14 or that F-18 can do.
And perhaps
or
even more
F-35
capability. Now, let's see whose technology this is, because the government keeps saying it's not ours.
Yeah, I don't believe them. I don't believe them fully. Why would I? They've never given me a reason.
But don't you have an issue when it comes to Congress that no one's even telling you, when they're asked about this stuff, that they are not allowed to talk about it?
I struggle with this because having been...
Like they told you, let's go to the skiff and then we can have this discussion.
Yeah.
Then that means you're having a secure discussion that is outside of the eyes and ears of the public. But they're not even saying that.
No, I know. I wrestle with what needs to be secret and what don't, because there's all kinds of things that our military uses and works on that needs to be secret. And unfortunately for us, needs to be even secret from us. There is reasoning for that makes sense. Now, when we start delving into
aliens,
aliens. I don't even know where to go with that.
I know, but it's the aliens.
Yes,
damn it!
Of course, it's
there are
the
plenty
aliens.
of Navy pilots.
I thought that's where y'all were going with
They're
it.
Navy
to be
pilots.
honest.
Well,
let's talk about it on the surface level. Yes, because if it wasn't ours and it's not theirs, whose is it?
Lord, here we go.
Yeah,
here we go.
Look, we know that Navy pilots have seen objects that look very similar to a lot of the drones that have been seen over New Jersey. So I would assume it probably is aliens, or they're drones that alien technology has taken over, and there actually are drones.
We just took a train down a dirt road.
It's easier.
This conversation just took a train down a dirt road.
It's easier for me to believe that this is reverse engineered stuff or just high end stuff that we've got.
Yeah,
but we are talking about drone technology that in some cases, when it comes to our own military, defies our understanding of physics
that
they've seen out there.
But at the time when they were making the nuclear bomb, if you would have tried to explain that to somebody who had no comprehension of what it was and it was a top secret thing, then that would have defied their logic at the time.
But, okay, here's my argument there.
Yeah.
But based on the understanding of, we understood the theory of what could happen if we split the atom and what would occur. Now, we'd never seen what it was, but theoretically we knew. We are seeing things out there that defies all understanding of how technology moves.
That we, as civilians, I think when you look at like quantum computing and all that sort of stuff, man, that's so far above my head that I don't even pretend to understand. That's when I know that there are people out there that have a better understanding of things that I can't even comprehend, and I think most people on Earth can't comprehend.
But we understand that if I was to move Tug at a certain miles per hour, based on our current technology, there's a safe level where I can keep you alive.
Right, and then if you go faster than that, the
physics of it does not make sense. And so that's where I'm saying, it's like the physics is different. So if you're telling me that we're now into that sort of technology and we're using it as a show of strength,
but there's no need for a human being on a drone that can move in that way.
Right.
So there's nothing to kill.
Yeah, that's why aliens do it from the mothership.
Right.
They control them from up there.
Something's operating. Every drone is being operated by something.
Yeah,
what
sure.
is operating it?
Yeah, sure. Like aliens. We talked about, 10-year-old can do it these days.
10-year-old alien.
They live in the ocean, Tug.
I'm actually 24.
24, yes.
And they're showing you it's their own show of strength.
Is it because they're coming from the ocean? Is that where you're?
Well, they all live in the ocean, Tug.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
And they're concerned about these nuclear capabilities.
Do you think
they talk to the whales?
They
do not see Star Trek?
They're like Aquaman. Talk to the fishes. I get it. Okay.
But at least we know the drones are real.
They're definitely real.
The drones are real.
Never doubted
this
that.
This is no longer that was a weather balloon. No, the drones out there are real.
And some of them are the size of cars, and some of them are the size of, the palm of your hand. When we continue after a Neil Bortz report and a Fox News update, we send billions to Ukraine. But one senator says, we don't need to deport people. It's too expensive.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Xtra 106.3.
I don't know that this is a commentary as much as it is just me rambling about my history. Maybe you can listen and figure out why I'm so demented. Flunked out of Texas A&M after the first semester of my sophomore year. My father said, "That's it. I got 2 more kids to pay for. You're on your own." Oh, the jobs I did to finish at Texas A&M. Fuller brush man, delivering newspapers, selling Cokes in the basketball stadium, and, of course, disc jockey Randy Neal. Prophetic, I didn't know it. And I was a night auditor at a motel in College Station. Talk about boring. When I came to Atlanta, I had to do several jobs before I worked my way into radio again. Sold life insurance. I was a Fuller brush man, worked at an employment agency, and, again, a night auditor at a downtown motel. One of them was the Downtowner Motor Inn, if you remember that. When the legislature was in session, I could make some extra money, giving a room key to one of the legislators for an hour so that they could entertain some sweet young thing they met at a downtown bar. Anyway, things progressed. I started making more money, gave up the night auditor gig. But then, tough times, needed to pay some taxes, I don't know what, so I went looking for another night auditor job at an Atlanta motel. Found one downtown. Boy, this was going to be rough because I had daytime jobs too. I didn't know when in the world I was going to sleep. But as the day approached for me to show up for this job, something was just gnawing at me. This isn't right. Something's bothering me. My wife said, "Don't do it." So being responsible, I called the owner of the hotel, said, "I can't do it. I'm not taking the job." He hired somebody else. They showed up that night for work. And that night, one of Atlanta's feral, fatherless predators robbed that motel and killed the night auditor. Or clerk, if you will. Every decision will have a consequence on your life. So there's one chapter. Neil Bortz, Xtra 106.3.
There's nothing like being there in person for the holidays. And RBM of Atlanta Mercedes-Benz wants to get you there safely, in comfort, and style. Come in now during the Holiday Love Celebration for great offers on the Mercedes-Benz vehicles you've always wanted. Get an exceptional offer on the 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLC 300 SUV. Just $509 per month for 36 months with $44.63 due at signing. Exclusively from RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this vehicle and many other models during the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration sales event. Visit today to see how to qualify. Special lease rate available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Service through RBM of Atlanta Sandy Springs through January 2nd, 2025. Excludes tax, tag, title, and Georgia Lemon Law fees. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details.
Hi, my name is Steve from Marietta, and we hired ATL Turf Co. to build our dream backyard golf setup. They installed a large 4-hole putting green, a sand bunker, a short game area, and did a full conversion to artificial grass around the pool with decorative retaining walls. ATL Turf Co. was really creative. They were efficient. The installation was a breeze. Price was completely reasonable, and I definitely appreciated their communication throughout the project. I would definitely recommend ATL Turf Co. to anybody thinking about doing a backyard makeover. You can check them out online right now at atlturfco.com.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
There's still unidentified flying objects. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Big drones flying over New Jersey since mid-November. The FBI told a House hearing they don't know who's flying them or what they are. Mayors get a briefing from state police today.
If they are American assets, if they're American military, if they're American drones, and I think we owe the American people answers or explanations.
New Jersey State Senator Douglas Steinhardt on Fox also reacting to Governor Phil Murphy, saying there's no threat to public safety.
Dismissing this drone activity and its daily drone activity as nothing or no threat to me without some explanation, detailed explanation as to how they arrived at that conclusion is it's irresponsible and dangerous.
Luigi Mangione remains jailed in Pennsylvania, the suspected gunman in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. And Mangione's fighting extradition to New York to face a murder charge. Writings police found are part of the case.
All about the insurance industry, saying it's a scam, that they won't cover anything, including, I guess, his back surgery, according to reports, because they say he was in very bad pain. So that was the manifesto.
That's Fox's Alexis McAdams. An out-of-control wildfire in Malibu, California has torched 3,000 acres and burned some homes down. Ed Laskos with Fox 11 TV reports there are
homeowners standing ready with their hoses, standing dangerously close to the fire itself. Others, just some of the many, ordered to evacuate to get out now.
Cher and Barbara Streisand and Dick Van Dyke are among those who've evacuated in Malibu. President Biden on his way out of office says President-elect Trump will inherit a fairly strong economy. He also warns against Trump's tariff threats on all products from Canada and Mexico.
On the mistaken belief that foreign countries will bear the cost of those tariffs rather than the American consumer.
Meanwhile, a new poll shows most Americans disapprove of the president pardoning his son, Hunter Biden. Only 2 in 10 in the AP Norc survey approve of the deal, sparing Hunter Biden from punishment for a gun conviction and tax evasion. America's listening to Fox News.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad Pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Tug Howard, Scott Rhino, and Carlos Medina get your day started with Atlanta's only live and local conservative talk on the Morning Extra.
I think this is illegal, but I've always wanted to do it nonetheless. You ever been driving down the road and there be maybe an old abandoned house or a apartment building, church, warehouse, and every time I see one, I always want to stop and go inside and just look around. I don't want to take anything. I just want to go explore what was there. I don't know why I have that urge, but I have since I was a child, and the urge hit me again moments ago because here at Dickey Broadcasting on the 4th floor of Two Ballpark Center, Battery, Atlanta, Truist Park, home of the Atlanta Braves. Next door to us, on our floor, there is a business that has moved out. They're expanding, and it just wasn't big enough. And another business is expanding here on this floor, and they have completely renovated what is next door to us. And I have this strong urge just to go in and look around. I wanted to go in and look around when the business moved out, and I want to go in and look around now as they, repurpose this space for a different company. I don't know why. I don't expect I'll see anything extraordinary.
Yeah.
But I just have the overwhelming desire to go in and look around.
Go do it. All you need to do.
The door's always propped open, and I wanted to so badly.
What you do is grab a tape measure, just any tape measure, put it on your pocket,
That's right.
and just walk in like you know what you're about to do. Start measuring things. They'll think you're somebody that needs to work there, and just walk around and take a look at it.
Does anybody else have that desire?
I do it all the time.
Is it just me?
Just you, not me.
No,
Really?
you just have no desire to go. That dude, when we're driving through rural South Carolina, headed over to see Jacob, there's so many homes, old home sites that are probably 50, 75, 100 years old that are just abandoned. Yeah. And they're in terrible shapes of ill repair. And I want to go in and explore them.
I did it in Hiawassee.
Did you?
Yeah, there's a home. It's beautiful. It's probably the oldest home in that Towns County area. And I drove up, and, it's been abandoned for a long time. And I drove up just to kind of see what the property looked like, what the house looked like. And when I did, I, kind of walked around, and, the door was wide open. So I was like, oh, geez, I better go in and check and make sure, nobody's stealing things,
Well, if it's been abandoned for years, what would there be in there to steal?
Well, there were still doors, and, there's stuff inside the house still. There was even a picture hanging up of the original owner. I mean, there was still stuff in there. So I had walked in and just kind of walked around, and I was like, man, this place is great. Then I found out who the owner was and called him and asked him if it was for sale. And, but I didn't tell him I went in. But I did tell him the door was open.
I just have that crazy desire board up, Joey.
That was a regular activity for me in high school.
Exploring abandoned home sites?
Yeah, yep.
Places?
And you can get arrested.
That I knew it was against the law.
You can get arrested.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no surprise there.
I know many people who got arrested for it.
Yeah, it's. I don't know why I have the urge built in, but I do, and it's weird because it's springing up every morning when I walk by that space that's right next to us here at Dickey Broadcasting, because they're rebuilding it. They're just building it out.
I'm sure they'd let you.
Yeah, probably so. There's nothing in there right now.
Just go ask.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right answer there. 8 o'clock hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts. 770-GET-HEAT. CentralHeat.com is their website. We just spent billions and billions of more dollars to Ukraine. The majority of the American people are not in favor of supporting this war. I don't know that they've ever been. And they definitely aren't now. They voted accordingly to prove that point last month. But Dick Durbin, he says, y'all, it's just going to be too expensive to try to deport all these people.
In addition to weakening our military, it would cost hundreds of billions of dollars to deport every undocumented immigrant in our country. It would damage our economy and separate American families. Instead, we should focus on deporting those who are truly a danger to America, and we should give the rest a chance to earn legal status.
There's the kicker at the end when he said we should give these people the ability to become citizens. It's always been about that. The Democrats have always been for that. That was the plan from the get-go. That's why they opened the doors. It has nothing to do with money. The Democrats will spend every penny that they have and that they don't have. Establishment Republicans, too. Don't want to leave them out. They'll spend all that money and then come back to you, cry poor, Los, and say, it's just going to be too expensive to get rid of these folks.
When 49% of Hispanics vote for Donald Trump, when a larger percentage of African-American males vote for Donald Trump, when the Jewish community in large numbers in New York voted for Donald Trump, it's pretty much sealed the fate of what the Democrats knew they had to do. They were already moving this way with 10 to 15 million illegals. Now it's turned into how quickly can we make these people into citizens and a permanent underclass because we're losing the minority and working communities.
Was it 39 days is what they have exactly to try to pull that off before Donald Trump is inaugurated on the 20th. But it was always about that, and I think that's the most irritating part. We knew that's what it was always about. They told you were a liar. They told you that you were somehow...
replacement theory was conned as, that's just the white people that are complaining about this. This is conspiracy theory. No, replacement theory was always about replacing the American citizen with a subservient class that will serve the Democrat Party and they'll serve the communists.
If you recall, Rhino, Tucker Carlson mentioned it, it's probably several years ago, and he was labeled everything but a Christian man when he did this. And it's always been about the same thing. They tried to pigeonhole it to make it, to make it look like Los is saying it's only white people, and it was never that. It was that they were happy that was the narrative that got pushed up.
They started way back trying to create this idea that it was racism having a border. They started it with look at the Custom Border Patrol whipping migrants with horse reins as they were trying to cross. They started this narrative for a long time for a good reason in their minds, which was to flood the country with voters, to flood flood Democrat cities, to be able to fly them into those cities, to change the population, to gain more seats, and to do a lot of other things. The crime that came along with it is a very, very bad side effect. And it's not just brown people that are coming across like they want to tell you. There are terrorists that are coming across. Even Christopher Wray will tell you that. This has been such a big problem. This has cost the American people more than it would to deport them eventually and get rid of them. We would save money. We'd be able to take care of Americans better. And you know what? I agree with Tom Homan. If you want to come here, there is a legal way to go about it. All you have to do is come in and do it the right way.
The flack is always strongest when you're over the target. And the target, when we get over it and we start pointing out, here is the reason why these people want to do this. They want to have a permanent new underclass. They want to root out working class Americans, and they want to also drive down wages because that's helpful to Chamber of Commerce Republicans. All of this is when the flack comes in, where they have to tell you, well, your thoughts there are white supremacy. Like, how is that? How is explaining this white supremacy? Yep. And it doesn't matter what you bring up. Once you're over the target, they will pull out their biggest and best guns, which are typically white supremacy, racism, or some sort of racism, in order you to quit talking about what's actually happening.
But to add, or not, kind of add, to start with that it's really expensive. Like, that's the silliest thing that you could possibly say, because we're $37 trillion in debt, or $36 trillion in debt, and no one cares whatsoever.
But what does the communists use against you all the time?
Yeah, your common sense, your values, the values, things you care about.
You, as a conservative, you as somebody who's concerned about how much your groceries cost, you who are so concerned about inflation, what it's done to your pocket in the last 3.5 years, the first thing Dick Durbin's going to tell you, Senator from Illinois, is, it's going to really cost you. It's going to be way too more expensive than you can handle. Yeah. That's him trying, and the only thing he didn't do,
reverse psychology,
was to tell you, and the Christian thing to do is to keep them. That's the only thing he was missing, because that would probably hurt him with his constituency.
We probably cut the actual audio clip a little short. I'm sure he went back to that at some point.
Jesus didn't to believe in borders. Jesus believed in helping everyone. Yeah, they always go to those things to prey on your emotion, to make you feel that way, pull on the heartstrings. What about the children? How would you separate children? And even Donald Trump, like, during this whole thing, every message is going to be taken apart, and it's not the real message. And it's very important that we put things in context, because what Donald Trump said was, hey, listen, we're not going to break families apart. You guys can all go together, but if you are a citizen, you're more than welcome to stay here. But if your other half is not a citizen, we're not going to break you apart. You're more than welcome to leave. Instead, the left says, can you believe that? He's going to break families apart, and those are going to have to stay here. It's a ridiculous virtue signal to make you feel bad.
The only warped sensibility that Dick Durbin did not use against you was talking about, for instance, we have 300,000 children that we cannot account for. Many have entered into prostitution. About the only thing he didn't say is, Jesus didn't have a problem hanging out with prostitutes.
Well, they probably took that story way out of context. but I see your point. Your point's valid.
That is the only thing that Dick Durbin didn't use to try and justify his point.
But that's the thing that I think Americans
Jesus
rejected.
Wasn't around anyone who partook in prostitution.
But the thing is that Americans voted against this way of thinking, this way of acting, this way of behaving. They were tired. They were fed up, and are tired and fed up with all of the nonsense that we're documenting right here. Tom Homan is a guy that is no nonsense, and he was on Dr. Phil, of all places. When did Dr. Phil become credible? I never really thought he had much credibility.
Dr. Phil went with Tom Homan to the border like a week or two ago, and he's now gotten so invested in telling you this border story, because it is, and nobody wants to talk about it in the media, this is a human tragedy story.
Of course it is. Absolutely right it is. But listen to Tom Homan as he talks about what needs to be done.
What happens January 21st? Where do you start?
Well, there's 3 rails we'll start the first day. Number 1, we're going to secure the border. Number 2, we're going to run the deportation operation. And number 3, they'll look for these 300,000 kids. We'll find them too. President Trump's been clear. We're going to prioritize public safety threats and national security threats first, because they pose the most danger to this nation. So day 1, we're going to be looking for these public safety threats, arresting them, detaining them, and deporting them. And if these sanctuary city mayors don't want to help, then get the hell out of the way, because we're coming. We're doing it.
You say that the left media has it backwards. Brandon, you as the bad guy. How are you the bad guy?
You know, I grew up in a family full of cops. My grandfather's a cop. My dad was a cop. And we're in a situation now where the left thinks those who enforce the laws are the bad guys. Those who broke the law are the victims. Well, we're going to change that after January 20th.
And a rousing round of applause. That's exactly what we voted for. We talked about this a little bit earlier when CNN doesn't get it. They don't understand what it is that we voted for. So when people on CNN or MSNBC or any network like that hears this, they're pushing back, not realizing that's exactly what America voted for.
CNN had a segment that aired 48 hours ago in which the female analyst told everyone, Donald Trump is talking about rounding up people and sending them out of the country. People didn't vote for that. The hell we didn't. I voted exactly for it. I would have voted twice if I could have. Been like, yeah, you know what? Not only did I pull the lever with the left arm, I pulled it with the right arm as well. Because I am all for this.
But it's going to cost you so much money to round them all up, and then we're going to have to use police to take them off the street, keeping your kids safe.
It costs you. And this is what they never want to discuss. We talk about the intentions, not the results. The billions of dollars that it costs us to have people in this country not producing, sitting in hotel rooms and drawing on the state. It's not even close in comparison to what it would be to send them out of here.
Just look at the numbers from New York City alone at the Roosevelt Hotel, if I can speak. The numbers from New York City will blow you away. Even Eric Adams, the mayor there, is like, yes, I'm on board with this because we can no longer afford to do the things we're doing. And he was on board when he was still under the wing of the Democrat Party. And I'm not saying he's fully out from under the wing of the Democrat Party. But when he spoke up about the things that his city was facing and the budget shortfalls that his city was having to deal with, and taking away from citizens of New York City and giving them to people that were there and sent there illegally, he was like, whoa, he threw his hands up. And then they turned on him like a pit viper. But the numbers in New York City alone are astronomical.
2018, 2019. The projection was $5 billion to finish building the wall. Yep. And everyone's patting their chest. I don't know where you're going to get that. I don't have anything in these pockets.
Dick Durbin being one of those.
As of now, New York projects somewhere between $5 and $10 billion a year to take care of these people. And this is just in this one community. We're talking about this across the entirety of the country. If you tell me it's going to cost $10 billion to get these people out of this country with this sort of large of an operation, that's a drop in the bucket to what it costs just one city in this country.
All you have to do is the math.
Yeah.
And I'm not good at math, man. I struggle with decimals and fractions. I'm a 3-time college dropout. I am not good at math. But I can see how the math works and how it doesn't. To tell me that the border wall's too expensive, no, we can't do it. To tell me that that removing people who are here illegally and breaking the law and the worst type of laws, to say that's so expensive and we can't do it, it'll cost us hundreds of $billions of is silly. You're insulting my intelligence just by saying it.
It's ridiculous. And so that's what they think. They know that most of the voters are uninformed, or they don't pay attention, or they don't care. And this is an issue that they think, hey, we're not going to tell them about the money. They're not going to ask about the money. We got them on the human side of this. Oh, don't you feel bad for them? Don't you? They're not going to look into the money and how much it actually costs to keep these people in prison even. How do you think it's going to cost to keep Jose Ibarra and all the rest that they arrest and keep in prison as well? So you've got so many different avenues of money that you're spending. Not just the air, not just the hotels, not just the food, not just everything they're giving them. There's a lot more to it.
You've given Ukraine more than $220 billion. You just authorized a $50 billion loan to Ukraine. And DOJ, as of last week, has the estimates on what illegal immigration is costing this country at $151 billion. This is where you start talking about just the math. If it's costing $151 billion, why don't we put an end to it? Maybe it's going to cost us $30 to $40 billion to put an end to it. That's going to save yourself $110 billion. And I'm just saying, if you're going to prioritize what you're sending all around the world, why not start at home?
But Dick Durbin, he told us it's going to, and you just gave the numbers, right? You said
$151 billion is what DOJ estimates what illegal immigration is costing this country.
And then, what did you just say we've sent to Ukraine?
We've sent more than $220 billion. We just also authorized another $50 billion loan to Ukraine.
Hundreds of billions. He was shaking in his boots. Hundreds of billions of dollars to deport people that came here illegally, broke the law, and some have been major risks for people that live in the United States of America. You just gave me probably $350 or $400 billion in two examples, Los. And Dick Durbin's shaking in his boots about $100 billion. You don't care about $100 billion. You care about how am I going to get these people to vote for me. That's what you care about.
Claw back the $300 billion commitment we're trying to make to this BS climate change initiative that they want all these countries to pull in. It's all a joke. They don't care about the money. It doesn't come out of their pocket. It comes out of ours.
Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Your Atlanta Carrier experts. Second generation locally owned HVAC company. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. When we come back, the man issues, goodness gracious. The man has issues. This is the accused murderer, Luigi Mangione. The issues that he has that may have caused him to kill the CEO of United Healthcare. Next on Extra 106.3.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's Pete, and here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
One TV ad may have done more to turn the tide to Trump than anything else that happened, and that's the ad promoting this trans crap. It said, she's for they/them, he's for you. It must have meant a buttload of votes out there.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Front Office Lowe's brought it up a little bit ago because we don't waste your time with telling you the weather all the time here on Extra. But the cold air is coming back. The last 2 days have been a little bit of a reprieve in the 50s. But we're going to drop back down to the 30s, Lowe says. If you're feeling that cold weather outside, and then you go into your house and you're like, wait a minute, I'm still feeling the cold weather inside. Make sure you reach out to the folks that can fix the problem for you efficiently. That is Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Second generation, locally owned HVAC company in Atlanta. Been operating since 1947. Chuck and his team have been doing this as a family unit for, 77 years, I believe it is. Carrier systems, that's what they focus on. They keep you comfortable no matter how cold it is outside. You can enjoy a refreshing home and be warm no matter how cold it is. Right now, you can save $2,000 on a new Carrier system. Up to $2,000 off, ensuring you stay warm all winter long. And I think we're about 10 days from winter actually starting. So if we're already in the 30s, then maybe we're going to have that cold winter. My wife was looking out to the back window of our house down the holler. There's about 10 deer that live down there. She's like, I think they have some thick coats. I bet it's going to be a cold winter. Maybe that's the truth. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. I just know when it's 30 degrees outside, I want it to be warm inside. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, they pride themselves on better service through knowledge. Turn to your Atlanta Carrier experts. If you need a new system, they can get you a Carrier system at a good deal. If you need a maintenance agreement, come out a couple times a year and maintain the system that you have, they can do that. Or if they can fix the broken system, no matter the brand. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com.
Military veterans are eager to transfer their skills and experiences to civilian life, but lack trusted connections to expedite their path to success. The civilian world can be confusing, and veterans do not need to journey through it alone. When you reach out to the Warrior Alliance, we will guide you to the best-in-class resources that can lead you toward renewed purpose after serving our nation. Find out why thousands of warriors have found success after service after engaging with the Warrior Alliance. For assistance, go to thewarrioralliance.org or call 404-210-1776.
The holidays are happening at Diamonds Direct. Still rushing to finish your holiday shopping? Don't worry, we've got you covered. This weekend only, it's our last chance sale with 20% off virtually everything. Earrings, bracelets, pendants, and more. Plus special financing options up to 5 years. But don't wait, this is your final opportunity to find the perfect gift at the best value before the holidays. Plus special designer appearances. Visit us during extended holiday hours or shop online and pick up in store. Our 20% off last chance sale ends Sunday. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
Neil Bortz here. Maybe you've already taken the steps to improve your health, maybe save your life. You're using a CPAP for your sleep apnea. I've been using one for well over 20 years. So right now I'm here to tell you about a source for CPAPs and CPAP supplies here in the Atlanta area. CPAPs, etc. They're in Alpharetta. They have whatever you need. Roddy and Sharon are your CPAP experts, and they'll ship nationwide. More information, CPAPs, etc. SonderHealthCC.com.
Hey, Georgia neighbors, it's time to expect more from your Medicare Advantage. Discover Sonder Health's custom plans tailored just for Georgians. Saunders offers unique benefits, including special plans for those living with chronic conditions. Some plans even come with grocery or gas benefits to support your overall well-being. Sonder Health makes it easy to get the coverage you need. See for yourself what today's Medicare Advantage can do for you. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com, a healthier state of life. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO and PPO with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. At A Second Chance Bail Bonds, we believe everyone deserves a second chance. We handle bonds from local to federal for any jail in any city. And in most cases, we can have you and your loved one out of jail in a matter of hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT. That's 404-BAIL-OUT. Or online at atlbail.com.
I am Michael Green, chef and third-generation owner of Matthews Cafeteria, located on Main Street in historic downtown Tucker, Georgia. We have been serving Southern comfort favorites since my grandparents opened the doors in 1955. 70 years later, Matthews is still preparing those same recipes. Come in today, grab a tray and sit down to award-winning fried chicken, turkey and dressing, hand-peeled mashed potatoes, and made-from-scratch biscuits, pies, and cobblers. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 6 days a week. Come and see us today and experience the Matthews way.
You and your buddy. You've been through a lot with each other. The ups and the downs. He's been with you every morning, noon, and night. You've traveled the world together. Heck, he was even with you on your first big date. But have you noticed he's struggling lately? Not performing on the job. He can't even stand up straight anymore. He's wanting to cry out for help, but just doesn't know how. He needs Dr. Deal and Total Body Therapy of Georgia. They can give him the gift of good posture this year, help him stand proud and become all he was meant to be. Now, take him by the hand, look him in the eye and say, "I appreciate you, little fella, and we're going to get you some help." We're going to call 404-777-1911. We're going to visit tbtofga.com. We are going to say goodbye to erectile dysfunction forever. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. It's a hard conversation to have, but it's one worth having. Learn more online at tbtofga.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines. Presented by RBM of Atlanta, your Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Wednesday, December 11th. Minnie Turner, a 60-year-old science teacher at Tucker High School, is off the job after being arrested and charged with DUI on Monday morning. Students reported that Turner was driving back to school after picking up food during the first period when she hit another car. The other driver followed her back to the school parking lot where Turner reportedly struck additional vehicles. In a statement from the DeKalb County School District, Turner has been placed on administrative leave and is prohibited from entering DeKalb County School District property until the investigation is complete. Rain will be moving out later this morning, making way for cold temperatures and strong winds. Wind gusts of up to 30 miles per hour are expected this afternoon. Combined with the wet grounds from recent heavy rainfall, there is a potential for trees to come down. Be careful. Temperatures are forecast to drop into the low to mid-40s by this afternoon. And in sports, Atlanta Braves pitcher Max Fried has agreed to an 8-year, $218 million contract with the New York Yankees, according to the Associated Press. The deal marks the largest contract in history for a left-handed pitcher. Fried departs the Braves after 8 seasons, a World Series title, and 3 Gold Glove awards. With your headlines, Scott Rhino, Extra 106.3.
I'm not on TikTok, but I do monitor the things that happen on TikTok, and it's pretty easy these days on X, formerly known as Twitter. There's a handle called Libs of TikTok, and I saw this last night, and it bothered me. I thought it was just heinous. There's a professor at UPenn by the name of Julie Alexevia. Julia, professor there on TikTok, celebrated, or at least appears to celebrate, the alleged assassination of the United Healthcare CEO. And she called the kid that did it, Luigi Mangione, an icon. That's what she said. This morning, she's changed her tune because a lot of people noticed what she had said.
Uh-oh.
And let me read her retraction, if you can call it that. Late last night, I posted on TikTok, as well as several other stories on my Instagram, These were completely insensitive and inappropriate. I retract them wholly. I do not condone violence, and I'm genuinely regretful of any harm the posts have caused. Bull crap.
Yeah, you did condone it. Your first thought made you put out there, not on one. Okay, look, if you put something out there and you go, you know what, maybe that's bad, and you take it off, but every single one of your social media accounts, you put the same kind of message time after time. No, that's exactly, you're just mad that you got caught. You're mad that you've been exposed as a piece of garbage.
This line of thinking really is going to be what you're going to see from the left for the better part of the next year. Because once you lose an election, and it wasn't close, I mean, they got smashed all around the country.
Crushed.
What they now have left is lashing out. Now, right now, nobody's paying for it. George Soros, these other NGOs, no one's paying for the lash out. I believe that's going to happen once you have the mass deportations begin. That's when they'll start paying because it'll be advantageous to make it look like the country's rising up against it. So all these people have left right now is going to social media and finding stories like this to back. It becomes the one element they have where they can coalesce and go, see, we are for each other. We're against the man.
It's like wearing the mask.
Very much so.
It's
a 2024, 2025 version.
That's how they lock arms right there.
This is their show of strength.
Right.
Is I'm going to go and support a killer, an alleged killer, who took out, again, it's a CEO of a company, but this guy wasn't the one who was dictating whether or not grandma got what treatment.
I find it interesting, and maybe no one would agree with me here. I know there's a punk rock band called the Soviets, and it's spelled Soviettes. Her handle is the Soviet. Wonder if that has anything to do with the way that she thinks. It's just odd that would be a woman that is a leftist, that is at a Ivy League school that celebrates, obviously, murder and then feels bad about it because so many people have called her on it. If nobody had said a word, do you think that she would have taken those down? No, definitely not. And then you find out, because I just noticed it now, at the Soviet is her handle across her social media. Probably nothing there, I'm sure.
These people get to say the things that they do online. And remember, they have free speech. They're more than welcome to do it. It's when they worry about what happens, like Taylor Lorenz.
Like repercussions, maybe.
Taylor Lorenz lost her job at Vox because she was celebrating a CEO getting killed and empathizing with, well, I can understand the mentality. I'm sorry, you don't go on to television shows and talk about that. Yep. You can talk about the movement, but you never say it's you moron. You don't do that.
Even if you believe it, you don't admit to it. You're crazy.
But what happens when you've come from an area where you were protected for so long on social media?
Fair point.
It wasn't you being attacked. It was Carlos, Tug, and Rhino who were getting attacked because we're saying masks don't work. But if you wore your mask, you did everything right. You weren't going to be the one that got attacked, no matter what you said. So this is new for them to realize, oh my gosh, we're horrible, horrible people. And you know what? It is. It's all about their pocketbook. Once we start saying, hey, guess what? We're coming after you. We're going to shut you down. Look how quick Budweiser changes. Look how quick Target, Walmart, all of them have started to change once people said, hey, we're pulling back money from you. We're taking away your career. They'll change, and people will eventually change, but there has to be consequences for those kind of inflammatory comments.
If you have any time to listen to Mike Benz when he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he brought up how this happens, how free speech was under attack from about 2018 to 2022, and how the mentality around this country was, this is insane. But you had organizations that were throttling down any of the people that were saying it was insane and elevating those that continued to put out these crazy messages. Had this been several years ago, that woman, what was it, the Soviet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Her information would have been celebrated, and anyone who tried to attack her, you would have caught the strike.
Yeah.
You would have been the one who was silenced.
In the mainstream media, though, there's still those out there that do celebrate the Soviet, the Penn teacher, and talks about Luigi Mangione the way that she does. And that would be, I don't know if y'all saw this morning. I didn't see it until a few minutes ago. And that is Jimmy Kimmel. And he talks about the United Healthcare murderer by saying, quote, I would visit him in prison and bake him cookies. maybe perhaps more. I'm about to be a jailhouse bride. That's the way the left looks at a murderer. That's the way. It's like they revel in it. It's like they're so attracted to it. It's like a moth to a flame or something. They can't get away from it. They can't even put their common sense in front of that attraction to stop themselves.
They have taken their sanity. They've put it in a box.
Yes.
And they've recognized, and this is what we talk about what the communist is always interested in. The communist is always interested in hurting you and hurting society and recreating it for themselves. And part of that's just violence. So even though you would typically say, hey, killing people's wrong. But if it's in the interest of remaking society as you see fit, it's totally justified. And that's what they do. They will always jump through whatever hoops to say it's okay that we hurt you.
Yeah, it's okay if it's this guy. It's okay because that person's a bad person in our eyes.
Well, they vote for Hitler.
And they vote for, yes, exactly.
Of course we can hurt them.
We're all the bad white people.
They're subhuman.
They're all subhuman. They're all Hitler. They're all rednecks. They're all extremists. They're all right, far right. This is the way they group people in to create division and hate towards someone. They'll continue to do that. Jimmy Kimmel is he's one of the trolls. He's like, hey, I have an echo chamber. They're watching me, everything I'm saying. So he feeds on that. Oh, they'll love this. This is the group that I'm going after. That's who he is. He's always going to be that way. Same thing with Colbert and all that. It's all in the idea of power and listening and ratings and numbers and money. That's what it is about them. None of them has stepped out to help any of the people that they sit and pretend to protect.
Looks like 1.7 million watch Kimmel, which is more than I expected. And it's definitely more than watching CNN. I don't know if y'all saw this. I saw this report this morning, too, that Food Network has more viewers than primetime CNN. So people are getting the message. People are leaving. And I saw an interview, I think it was yesterday. It was people at Axios, and they were just lashing out at how people are finding information different than coming through them or coming through the other mainstream media. They're melting down. They don't know how to handle this, that nobody listens to them anymore.
There was a person that Elon Musk retweeted, and I wish I could, I'll have to go back and find it. This was a person who's just a regular run-of-the-mill journalist, and he was pointing out, he was showing his impressions, he was showing his amount of discussion points, and this journalist was pointing out, this is more than I get when I show up on these other mainstreams. And he was echoing, X is now the media. And, of course, that's been Elon's point, that X is the media. When you have 40,000 people in the key demographic, that's 25 to 54, that are watching CNN on a nightly basis, that is that's Truist Park. Okay, that's nothing.
Yeah,
it's not enough. Like, it looks cool at a baseball game. 40,000 viewers across the entirety of the country in the key demo, 25 to 54, that's failure.
Dude. Double that went to the SEC championship.
Double that went to the SEC championship game. 40,000 viewers across the entirety of the nation.
How the mighty have fallen.
Got to change your ways.
Will they?
Got to change your discussion point. Got to give people, and this is what's changed in this world. And I talked about this. I talked about it when we were, first coming over to X and all the opportunity that was going to be here. I said, doesn't matter your distribution. People will find content if they like it. CNN, it's not hard to find the content, but people don't like it. If you have good content, people will find it. That's the benefit of the app and everything else.
Yep.
Economists are all of a sudden changing their tune. Talking about changing tunes. They said Trump's tariffs have caused increased prices and inflation to go up too. And I guess they were just joking about that because now that he's been elected, those same folks are saying, well, the tariffs, they probably won't increase prices, and they may actually help inflation. That was in the Business Insider, which is a at least left-leaning, if not completely leftist outlet. And now they've just realized it. They didn't realize it 3 months ago. Before the election, they were rattling the cage saying, Trump's bad, it's going to make it worse. Yeah, Biden, it's been rough, but Trump will make it worse. And now that he's been elected, they're like, well, okay, we were wrong about that.
Well, their credibility is on the line. So if you're a business insider and you've got business wrong and you don't understand economy, you don't understand how tariff works, if you don't understand that Joe Biden has had the tariffs on China the entire time, Well, guess what? No one's going to trust you as a business insider or as a business magazine when you can't understand economy and how it works, when you can't understand that these tariffs are going to force other countries to make changes themselves and that it won't get down to the American consumer. It's going to be something that actually helps create jobs, also helps create more American products and build manufacturing here in this country. And they know that. But it was like, hey, he's not going to win, so we could go out on this limb and say all these things because we need to derail it, and hopefully it'll never come back to us. But now that he's president and it's going to be put in effect, they can't look like they have no credibility left.
In my home, I tell my 10-year-old daughter on a regular basis, if you do well in school, we're going for ice cream. I also tell her, if you continue acting the way you are, I'm going to cancel Christmas. All right?
That's a foot in the thumb.
I tell my 13-year-old, soon to be 14-year-old, you want this is what we're going to do. If you act this way, I'm taking your phone. Tariffs are much the same. It is a negotiating point. Am I canceling Christmas? I want to consider it, but probably that's the extreme. But it is a point of now we can have the discussion, and this is what I need from you if we're going to continue moving forward.
Totally off topic.
That's Trump telling you, I'm canceling Christmas, damn it.
Yep. Yes, it is. At your house, when you talk to your girls this way, and which do you think they would choose? Canceling Christmas or taking away their cell phone? Because I would lean they'd cancel Christmas before they'd let you take away that cell phone.
Well, how much does a tariff have to be to make Canada compliant?
Yep.
I'm going to cancel your cell phone. I'm going to cancel Christmas, Canada. Which one is going to make you go, uh-oh, he's serious?
When we continue on Extra 106.3, everyone loves Doge. Who would have thought? I mean, common sense would apply, you would think, but not everybody saw it. Now, they're starting to. Next on Extra.
Historian Victor Davis Hanson says the Dems are now the party of the upscale professionals, rich and subsidized poor.
Subsidized poor. The Kimmer Show every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Nobody wants a hat, clothing, underwear, socks. That's not what you want for Christmas. You want something cool. You want something that's actually usable or something that you actually need. What about the gift of preparedness? Well, I'll tell you about one of the coolest places you can get a gift this season, and that's True Prep in Marietta on Cobb Parkway. Right now, they got a lot of great deals for the Christmas season, but they also have a $50 gift card that you could give to a loved one, the gift of preparedness, and in addition, you'll get a $5 added bonus. You can get all the information right there in Marietta on Cobb Parkway. But let me tell you why it's so important. You need to get all the cool things. Number one, you need to make sure your family's safe. So they've got plenty of ideas for freeze-dried food. You can do it yourself. They've got all the tools, whether it's Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers or even the Harvest Right freeze dryer, or they have it already prepackaged so you could get people started with a small bucket today. But if you're not looking for the freeze-dried food, what about water filtration, first aid kits, or even some of the cool things like an AR-15 firearm accessories, ammo? You can get it all at the lowest prices around at a locally owned and operated company in True Prep, Marietta, Cobb Parkway. Go online as well. If someone new in your life or is new to prepping, go ahead and send them to the website, find a workshop, or you go there and sign them up for some of the great workshops like the Intro to Emergency Preparedness. Go to the website, trueprep.com. That's TRU prep.com. Prepare today for a wonderful holiday season with our friends at True Prep.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and thank all of you who have made Lee Brandt a success. Come in this Christmas and experience Lee Brandt's unparalleled personal customer service, along with their beautiful diamonds, sapphires, rubies, and emerald jewelry. There is no greater feeling than making Christmas special for someone you love, and special Christmas memories are made at Lee Brandt, where quality, value, and service are the Lee Brandt difference. Start shopping at LeeBrandt.com.
You may know that ATL Turf Co. has become a leader in artificial grass design and installation services, but you may not know that ATL Turf Co. is a large artificial grass distributor. We only sell U.S.-made, premium-name brand turf at factory direct pricing below wholesale. And now we're open to the public with large inventories of lawn and landscape, putting green, athletic, and pet turf on sale. Plus, all remnants are on sale for only $1 per square foot, direct from Dalton to our warehouse in Kennesaw. Visit atlturfco.com to learn more. atlturfco.com.
You have enough to deal with after an accident. You don't want to spend a lot of that time messing around with insurance companies. Besides, what are you going to say to him? You really know the ins and outs? David Van Sant at Van Sant Law does. He used to work for the insurance companies. Their worst nightmare. He knows who to call, what to say, how to listen to him, and he has your best interest at heart. Van Sant Law, 855-GA-INJURY. VanSantLaw.com, 855-GA-INJURY.
If you notice any cracks in your foundation, they're not going to go away. They need to be addressed as soon as possible to reduce additional costs that come with repair. Ramjack is the best company in the industry for repairing your foundation. We have the highest quality products in the nation. So, if you are experiencing foundation problems, please contact us at ramjack.com/Atlanta or call us at 770-502-8881. That's 770-502-8881.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on the station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
Who doesn't want a great smile? The world seems brighter because it is. Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? You know, that's only one reason to see my dentist, Dr. Dina Giesler at Atlanta Smiles. The other reason, of course, is to take care of your teeth if they're going to make your life miserable. We all know that. But when's the last time you were smiling before you walked in the door like me? Because I know Dr. Dina and her staff are the happiest Kimmer babes you ever saw. We're going to fix me up, and I always take the gas. They tell me my best stories come out that way. And you can actually get a doggy right there napping in my lap, a little doggy. I said, go ahead, work away. Dr. Dina's a Navy vet, ranked a master dentist, which only 1% can say. She's been doing veneers since before anybody even knew what that was. My first visit was 30 years ago. Cosmetic dentistry, cleaning, bridges, crowns, especially keeping your teeth and gums healthy to last as long as you do. Veterans automatic 10% discount. Just tell them when you call. Atlanta Smiles, 404-262-7733. It's atlantasmiles.com. Your new smile's waiting for you. atlantasmiles.com. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Ask for the doggy. atlantasmiles.com.
Keep up with all of our shows and the latest headlines by following Extra 1063 on Instagram, X, Facebook, Truth Social, and all your social media platforms. Plus exclusive giveaways and more. So follow now at XTRA 1063.
So you're telling me that most Americans possess common sense. That's a good thing. That makes me feel more encouraged. And then after Donald Trump was elected, it made me feel even more encouraged about the common sense that the American people have. But all of a sudden, you're seeing a change that maybe I didn't expect out of at least a portion of America's population. And that is when Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk say, we're going to cut the budget. We're going in with a surgery scalpel, and we're going to cut out some of this fat. And they've said up to $2 trillion from the budget, which is amazing. I can't imagine anybody going, no, I'm not for that. And you're seeing most people aren't saying that.
Yeah, most people aren't saying that, except, you know, there's a lot of Democrats that will continue down that path. But when you look at Bernie Sanders, John Fetterman, Ro Khanna, the Democrat out of California, those are some Democrat populists on Capitol Hill that are saying, hold on one second. Yeah, let's start looking at this because there are common sense cuts that we do need to make. They are very upset, of course, about the military industrial complex and money that is being spent and continually being spent and the budget continually rising and rising and rising. And when you want to get to that $2 trillion, a lot of these progressives want that cut and a lot of these populists want it cut. And they understand why, because it's part of the military industrial complex. But don't get it wrong. They still see funding ridiculous climate bills, their little pet projects. They don't want that cut. They don't want the Department of Education cut. They just want certain things cut. So there are some ideas that they do like.
We had a 10-year period where identity politics was mixed in with this idea that you could print and spend on whatever you saw that was going to be interesting. So if that turned into spending on different pet projects, if that turned into helping out climate change, if that meant that we were going to help this particular minority, there was not a limit on what you could print and spend and use that on. Then we got hit with inflation that was as high as we've seen since the 1970s. So yeah, there are some of these Democrats that actually recognize that, yeah, printing and spending was not the best idea, but how many are there going to be? How many people are going to recognize and not look at this as an opportunity? Because when we start seeing cuts, there will be services, there will be obligations that we've had in the past that we will no longer be living up to. When are they going to then try and turn it and be like, I told you I wasn't for any of these cuts?
Yeah. I think take the politicians, elected officials out of the equation for a second. If you just ask the American people, I think, and I'm not seeing this polling done anywhere, but I think the American people are like, no, you can't spend more than you make. I mean, I balance my checkbook every week. It was so obvious. And that's why I think the majority of Americans say yes. DOGE is exactly what we're looking for.
Well, most common sense Americans that can actually have the ability to critically think about how an economy works and budgeting and including in their own home. What they always go to, and the 30% that are totally against any kind of cuts are the ones that go, well, no, I mean, we don't expect you to like balance a book. What we expect you to do is take it from the rich. Take all the money you can from the corporations, the wealthy. They should be paying for everything else. Not us, not the ones here down and, the other Americans. That's the that's the kind of deflection that they get to. But I think if you're looking at some of the really common sense people in the Democrat Party, moderates, they're saying, yeah, there's a lot of money here. We can win on some social issues that we think we can work with like in a bipartisan bill. We can work with Republicans on to get some of this passed. But when it comes down to what the government should be spending on, there are some cuts we need to make. It's always going to revolve around the military because it's easy for Democrats to defend that.
We no longer are going to hear, at least for the next several years, in my opinion, modern monetary theory. Like that is not going to be coming up, because the idea of it is that if you were Japan and you were on the yen, or if you were the Brits and you were on the pound, and obviously us on the dollar, that we were somehow independent of the rest of the world marketplace when it came to the value of our money based on how much we were printing and spending. And we got a pretty good look that that's not how it works. It really is not. And so if you're going to tell me we are going to make cuts in the interest of getting revenues and expenditures back into a place that creates balance for our currency, that's the direction we need to be going.
And anybody who rejects that should be primaried immediately in either party. And I do think Americans look at this as an opportunity to do something that makes sense and hold people accountable, because now all of a sudden with the election of Donald Trump, I feel like that they have the slightest, and I think I've seen this written somewhere, and forgive me for not remembering where yesterday, I feel like that more Americans now feel better about even the election process. That they saw something happen. Trump won in a landslide. They couldn't even cheat. It was too big to rig. So they have a little bit more of a belief in the system. And now they can primary these people. Now they can go to the ballot box and have their voice heard and get some of these people that might reject some of the DOGE ideas out of office.
Yeah, I mean, I think Democrats are really worried that Elon Musk and Vivek are coming up with a pretty good idea of what can be cut and what can't be cut. But I think it does take conversation, and I think it takes transparency. You have to speak to the American people. I think that's where we've lost. We have the Democrats who think, hey, we're the government. Don't worry about thinking. We'll do it all for you. You don't even just agree with everything that we say. No matter what we say, even if you want to think about it, just agree with it. But I think a lot of people are tired of that. And I think a lot of people are saying, hold on, give me the facts. If we're being transparent, saying this is why it needs to be cut, this is where it's inefficient, this is what's not been done, I think people would understand it more and will kind of back the DOGE program because it's only around for 2 years.
My optimism is during that 2-year period where you are going to have free reign. It's your place to do what you want. I believe that you're going to see what can easily, absolutely be cut without having to have any act of Congress. You don't have to run it through any red tape. And then we're going to get to all right, now here's the stuff where we need Congress. And I would like to see day one, those handful of, here's these 20 programs and they're out the door. All right, we did those. Now we move on to the next thing. I think that's progress.
Got layers.
And if it saves you, listen, a drop of the bucket is $100 billion, but at least it's $100 billion.
But that's like,
I mean, we're talking $36 trillion in debt.
Saying, man, that's like saying, well, it's only $100 billion. It's still $100 billion. You know, for regular people, throwing away $150. Like, if you did that with regularity, you would be in bankruptcy court. Be like, it's just $150. $150,
$10 for us.
Yeah, no,
that's
what
are you talking about?
But what I just mean, regular middle-class Americans.
$6 to $7 trillion in revenue on a yearly basis, and yet we are running deficits where we keep throwing another trillion right on top.
Even cutting $2 trillion is not going to do much. I mean, think about it. That's their goal, but it does do a lot. So that's the important part. We turn it around.
I mean, if we can get our spending back to what it was in 2016, 2018, where we were averaging about $5.5 trillion of spending, not 7.5 or 8. That's what we're trying to avoid here.
Am I being too aggressive by saying $2 trillion is not enough for me as a desire? Like, I want to see them go deep.
I want to see like 10 trillion.
But we did not get to this point by adding somehow to Social Security or anything else. It's like we added by all of this craziness that has nothing to do with everyday Americans or retirees.
Joe Biden just needs to pipe down and take the loss on the economy after the Neil Bortz report and Fox News update.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Xtra 106.3.
I don't know that this is a commentary as much as it is just me rambling about my history. Maybe you can listen and figure out why I'm so demented. Flunked out of Texas A&M after the first semester of my sophomore year. My father said, "That's it. I got 2 more kids to pay for. You're on your own." Oh, the jobs I did to finish at Texas A&M. Fuller brush man, delivering newspapers, selling Cokes in the basketball stadium, and, of course, disc jockey Randy Neal. Prophetic, I didn't know it. And I was a night auditor at a motel in College Station. Talk about boring. When I came to Atlanta, I had to do several jobs before I worked my way into radio again. Sold life insurance. I was a Fuller brush man, worked at an employment agency, and, again, a night auditor at a downtown motel. One of them was the Downtowner Motor Inn, if you remember that. When the legislature was in session, I could make some extra money, giving a room key to one of the legislators for an hour so that they could entertain some sweet young thing they met at a downtown bar. Anyway, things progressed. I started making more money, gave up the night auditor gig. But then, tough times, needed to pay some taxes, I don't know what, so I went looking for another night auditor job at an Atlanta motel. Found one downtown. Boy, this was going to be rough because I had daytime jobs too. I didn't know when in the world I was going to sleep. But as the day approached for me to show up for this job, something was just gnawing at me. This isn't right. Something's bothering me. My wife said, "Don't do it." So being responsible, I called the owner of the hotel, said, "I can't do it. I'm not taking the job." He hired somebody else. They showed up that night for work. And that night, one of Atlanta's feral, fatherless predators robbed that motel and killed the night auditor. Or clerk, if you will. Every decision will have a consequence on your life. So there's one chapter. Neil Bortz, Xtra 106.3.
Atlanta Braves single game tickets for the 2025 season are now on sale. Get your tickets for some exciting matchups next season, like when the Phillies come to Truist Park during the opening homestand in April, followed by the Dodgers and Padres in May, the New York Yankees in July, and many more.
He lashes one into left field. That'll drive in 2 runs, 3-0 Braves.
And Fans can also look forward to some fan-favorite specialty ticket packages next season, including the brand-new Hello Kitty ticket package in April, where fans will receive a Hello Kitty figure with a light-up bow, the Star Wars package that includes a Braves astromech figure, and the Military Appreciation package, which includes an Army Green t-shirt. Plus, you can go ahead and reserve your spot to play catch on the field for Father's Day. But hurry, it sells out fast. So give the gift of Braves baseball this holiday season, and don't miss out on a home schedule packed with star power. Visit Braves.com/packages to learn more and purchase today. Atlanta Braves baseball. We are Braves country.
The holidays are happening at Diamonds Direct. Still rushing to finish your holiday shopping? Don't worry, we've got you covered. This weekend only, it's our last chance sale with 20% off virtually everything. Earrings, bracelets, pendants, and more. Plus special financing options up to 5 years. But don't wait, this is your final opportunity to find the perfect gift at the best value before the holidays. Plus special designer appearances. Visit us during extended holiday hours or shop online and pick up in store. Our 20% off last chance sale ends Sunday. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 9 a.m. hour is presented by Southern Exteriors. Quality and precision you can rely on.
Inflation is creeping back up. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The November update just out shows consumer prices rising.
Month over month, it jumped 0.3%. Year over year, headline jumped 2.7%. Remember, though, that last month that was 2.6%. So month to month, a little bit of an edge up.
Fox Business Network Cheryl Casoni, that's something for the Federal Reserve to factor in next week when it again considers another interest rate cut after all the rate hikes helped bring inflation down from a 2022 peak. Luigi Mangione remains in jail in Pennsylvania, and he's fighting extradition to New York, where he's charged with murder and the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. His lawyer, Thomas Dickey, says,
I haven't seen any evidence that says that he's the shooter. The concept of American justice is a presumption of innocence.
Police are going through Mangione's writings, ranting about healthcare and corporate greed, including this. Fox's Alexis McAdams reads.
Reminder, the U.S. has the #1 most expensive healthcare system in the world, yet we rank roughly number 42 in life expectancy.
New Jersey mayors and the governor get a briefing today on the big drones flying over the state since mid-November. The FBI told a House hearing yesterday they don't know what they are, who's flying them. State Senator Douglas Steinhardt tells Fox they need answers.
The best information that we have available to us to this point suggests that these drones are coming from offshore, that when we try to make contact with them, they become evasive and elusive.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken will go to the Middle East today for more talks about Syria following an opposition rebel takeover. But first, Blinken faces tough questions about Afghanistan in 2021 at a House hearing, going back to when the Taliban took control amid a rushed American withdrawal that included a terror attack, killing 13 U.S. troops. A wildfire still burning out of control around Malibu, California, now has scorched about 4,000 acres. L.A. County Fire Chief Anthony Marone says
a small number of homes in the affected area have been destroyed and damaged.
More are threatened by the flames. Thousands of people told to be ready to evacuate. Thousands already have. America's listening to Fox News.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
It took 100 years, but finally there's a conservative voice you can trust. Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra. Download the app so you can listen live and on demand. It's the most convenient way to listen to Extra. But there are other ways. Just the old traditional way of 106.3 FM, 12:30 a.m. You can stream us on the YouTube channel. Easily found there on YouTube. Just search for XTRA 106.3 FM Atlanta. But the app is
the greatest app ever made.
One in a lifetime. There won't be a nicer app on your phone than the Extra 106.3 app. So make sure you get that one right away, if not sooner.
Yeah, I mean, you just become smarter the minute you tap it.
And it seems like listener Stephanie has said that it will make your hair grow. It will make your hair thicker.
Okay, listen. 2 of us listen to the app all the time. That's a lie. I'm not gonna go with that one.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you.
It may be the greatest app ever.
I'm merely repeating. Don't
you and I would be out here just fly we'd have. Hey, put fans in the studio because we want people to see our hair.
Right. And then how great it looks. No, you're exactly right. Oh, goodness gracious.
Well, wait a minute. It might grow hair, just maybe not on our head. Did she specify head?
She did not. It could be back and shoulders.
It could be my back and shoulders. Yeah,
which nobody wants.
My butt, a little bit.
Yuck. All right.
It happens.
We got to go in a different direction. We've got to change course. This conversation's off the rails on a crazy train. Tug, Rhino, and Los until 10.
I step away for like 30 seconds and y'all cause these kind of issues.
We're just talking about the greatest
Smyrna's finest coming through because you guys are so problematic.
Yes, the police showed up.
We're in trouble.
That's exactly right.
We're just talking about the greatest app of all time, the Extra 106.3 app, Carlos.
That's right. And it says right here on my page, you are always available to download the app for free, the greatest app ever.
That's right.
On app day.
Yes, on National App Day, which today is National App Day. So,
Extra 106.3 has been named the #1 app on App Day by
AI doesn't even sound that robotic anymore.
Most
Ain't nobody
adults.
buying that. Ain't nobody buying that.
That was from my heart.
No, you sounded robotic, and AI doesn't sound robotic anymore. If we were programmed to say something, it doesn't sound that robotic. So I don't know that works anymore. People are not going to get that joke for much longer.
Just wait.
That's true.
Just wait till I get to use our Deep Throat AI to hear about all of the UAPs that are off the coast. All that craziness.
A whistleblower.
A whistleblower. Yes.
Sweet.
Nothing wrong with that, man. We need as many people with their eyes on what is happening around the city, around the state, around the country as we can possibly get.
Well, we got drones for that.
Yes, we do, for sure, and probably some that we don't even realize are ours. Joe Biden has not had very much success with the economy. But Joe Biden will tell you that it's great and how Bidenomics have worked and all of this, and it's a bit annoying to hear because everybody knows better. That's the problem that he runs into, is that nobody's buying it. So much so that he was booted from office knowing that he was going to lose, and then they put in his vice president, who was didn't have a chance at winning because she was, unfortunately for her and the Democrat Party, very unlikable as a person. But it all boiled down. Even if people didn't like Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, they may have been able to win the election anyway had the economy been good. But it's not. So Joe Biden's going to have to just take that L.
Yeah, I mean, it's a loss. These are the things that people are starting to realize, that we got to stop listening to the old man. You can't keep playing this game that, hey, you're leaving with the best economy, you created the most jobs, all of this stuff. A loss is a loss. Stop talking about it. Nobody cares what you have to say at this point. Nobody cares what you think on tariffs. You've been wrong for 3.5, almost 4 years now on the economy. You've destroyed an economy. So coming out here and saying, hey, Trump's plans, I know for 3.5 years he has a record of having a really good economy, moving to a direction where inflation was basically zero. But let me tell you, what his plans for the economy going on? Oh, no, they're no good. Stop it. Take the L and walk away.
It's a holiday season, Tug, so I asked you this question when you were growing up in North Georgia. Did you ever tell your dad that you wanted a pair of Wranglers and then you got a pair of Wanglers?
Well, no. Yes, the answer is yes, but you only mispronounced the name. I wanted Wranglers, got Rustlers.
Okay, so you wanted Wranglers, you got Rustlers.
That's a true story.
They were nice, though, Rustlers. They weren't bad.
No, but not when you wanted Wranglers.
Yeah.
Joe Biden and this administration is trying to get you to accept an alternative reality, in which case they did so well. When you look at just home prices alone, your home prices from 2018 are up 150%. You might be saying, wow, my home's doing great. That's because your dollar is buying less. When you have inflation at a 40-year high for the better part of 2.5 years, we're just now getting down to about 3%. We were living at 1.8, 1.9 under Donald Trump. We went as high as 9% under this Biden administration. every one of these, they're trying to have you accept an alternative reality in which they did a good job. They got you rustlers. They didn't get you wranglers.
Can I give you one more? Right? Let me give you one more. My sweet wife, Laura, she still tells me this story that she's been scarred by a story like Wranglers and Rustlers. In the 80s, when she was a little girl, she wanted a Cabbage Patch Kid more than anything else in the world. Do you know what she got?
She got one of those sock ones.
Kind of that.
What's called?
She got a Flower Patch Kid.
Flower Patch Kids.
Oh, no.
That's the God's honest truth.
Yeah.
She's still scarred to this day for having that. You know, for
that happened so many times.
I'm telling you, who didn't run into that? You know, you wanted Nikes.
What a knockoff.
Dude,
Look at that.
yes.
Flower Patch Kids.
That's right. And it's just not the same. And
not the same.
And she was a little embarrassed. She was a little angry, a little upset. But it's funny that Joe Biden don't want you to be angry and upset. He wanted you to vote for him before they kicked him out.
Yeah.
And then I'm not.
You don't understand. It's Flower Patch. It's the same.
It's the same thing. Rustlers, same thing as Wranglers. Same thing. No, it's not.
Yeah. And do I really think anybody's listening to Biden on the economy now? I mean, he's stammering through it. And the only other person talking about the economy up until that point was Kamala Harris, but she's completely disappeared at this point, which I find she had the opportunity. She said she was going to fix anything, bring lower prices, give all these things out. She's still vice president, hasn't tried to push any of the things and any of the promises she made her voters. She hasn't tried to get any of that done before she left office, which just tells me these people are complete liars. The economy is going to start humming again. I don't care what Biden's ideas are. I'm so sick and tired of people telling us how the economy's supposed to run when they've run it into the ground, especially from the Democrat side. It's silly.
Always start with energy.
Yep.
And when you started your administration day one of 2021 by reducing our amount of energy that we were going to have flowing through this economy, you were going to catch the results pretty quickly because energy is required to keep prices down across the board. Energy is involved in everything. So if we're going to start there day one, by unleashing energy production, it won't show up in the first few months. It'll be down the road, but when it does, you're going to like the results.
Well,
Europe's in the
price
same
hike. Putin's price hike.
Well, there's that too. But Europe is in the same place, Rhino.
Yes.
Europe, and not that we care about what Europe's dealing with necessarily, but I do believe there is a similar mindset in Joe Biden and the Democrat Party and the way the socialists of Europe think.
Well,
and
it's a globalist thing.
Yeah, it's exactly right. And they're willing to get rid of all of their traditional energy sources and rely on wind turbines that realizing that the wind doesn't always blow or solar panels. But you got to remember half the day is dark. So I'm not saying that there's not a place for those. Don't call them green because you know they're not. That's a marketing scheme.
That's the biggest problem.
That's the part that drives me up the wall because that's all marketing. I'm not saying there's not a place for the so-called green energy stuff, but you can't get rid of your traditional sources of energy and expect to be successful.
When you sign one of these presidential actions and you say, this is what we're going to do moving forward, and so my green energy people are going to be happy, and you're seeing this around the world. The other end they don't tell you, and then we find out down the road, is why are we now, because it costs so much to produce our oil and to take care of our oil and then to turn it into product, well, what's the alternative? It's so expensive that I have to buy cheap Russian oil.
Yeah.
So you just enrich the Russians with your silliness. So then when you're upset that they're being aggressive across parts of Europe, well, why do you think they are? Because you emboldened them to do so with money to be able to do it.
You sure did. And Russia doesn't sell oil in the same way. They sell more of a natural gas, which is why part of the big deals that Ukraine and Russia are dealing with in the fight over land and how that pipeline is going to feed Europe. But yes, energy is going to always be the most important. What the Democrats tried to do was change really just like taking George Washington off the dollar bill and putting on somebody else. That's all they were trying to do was say, hey, we're going to go with this energy, even though they were kind of coaxed into it because this is a global idea that, hey, let's get rid of all this. We'll play a game of climate change. We can funnel more money. We can create more ideas on how to take money from the American people because it doesn't hit Europe the same way it does. They look at the richest nations and say, hey, who's going to pay for it? Well, USA, because they're the capitalist society that makes the money. Well, we make the money because of energy. We can't convert over to EV, all EV. They want it to be that way so they can control the industry.
Lawyers for Trump accused assassin, the second guy that didn't get off a shot but camped out at the golf course
at Mar-a-Lago.
Oh yeah, Mar-a-Lago. And his name was Ryan Ruth. He wants a delay in his hearing. He would like to delay it until December of 2025. I'm like, well, wonder why I'd want to do that. And then I started thinking about it. And I was like, oh, I think I figured out their line of thinking. They don't want to go to court in February because that's going to be days after Donald Trump is sworn in as president. He's going to be at his most popular at that moment because he has promised the American people a whole lot of things, and he's already started working on delivering them, and he's not even in office.
So he's waiving his right to a speedy trial.
Exactly, because he wants, or at least I think he and his lawyers want Trump to have taken some hits, not to be as successful as maybe that they or at least Trump plans to be. I think they're trying to play the waiting game, the long game, hoping that Trump's popularity won't be at fever pitch and you have to be defended for trying to off the man. That's what I think their long game is.
Yeah, maybe making him look out to be the way they're making this CEO killer out to be, kind of likable in a way or having a good reason. But they're looking why. Yeah, I can't figure out why they want to delay, get it over with. But maybe they need more money. Maybe they need to get more information. But
they say,
how would that ever happen? Like nobody's gonna. The popularity of Donald Trump is not gonna help Ryan Routh in any way whatsoever. Whether he's already been at the lowest. He was at the lowest at that point.
Court of public opinion, I think, is what they're trying to maneuver and manipulate. Because if let's say it goes to a jury trial, and then all of a sudden, everybody is a fan of Donald Trump, then your jury is not going to be quite as, sympathetic to you for trying to knock off one of the most popular presidents to ever come and be in the office and help the American people the way he did. He'll be the most popular president if he's successful since Ronald Reagan. So that's my line of thinking. They want to wait 10 months. They say the reason, their official reasoning, is there's a lot of discovery that they have to comb through. Like 10 months worth of discovery you got to come through? Come on.
They're looking for outs.
Good luck. You're in Florida.
Yeah, you're done.
If there was ever any state in the union where maybe this would be a bad idea if you were trying to find a sympathetic jury, Dade County isn't even blue anymore. And yet you thought to yourself, I'm going to go to Mar-a-Lago and try and get a shot off. And now I'm going to wait till maybe the temperature at which point that he's going to heat up on Donald Trump. So maybe some people might agree with what I'm doing. Good luck.
But don't
You're in Florida.
Don't
Good
you
luck.
see that's the only logical thing?
The idea of discovery.
Yeah.
If you're going to argue for that, you're going to be arguing that you needed to find more information about what the federal government has. Like, you are the case.
You are the discovery. They're trying to figure out why you were there.
It's like they're trying to find out what all your connections are and what brought you to sitting in that field, outside the fence for 10 hours.
Yeah, I think their discovery depends on precedent. So they're going to need at least 10 months to go through almost every legal book they have to find one way somehow to kind of get him out of this. He never took a shot. How does that play into account? He was there for a certain amount. Like, I think their discovery, their idea of discovery is finding other people that can help find cases that they might be able to skate something, maybe, lower his sentence. But the reality is they're never going to find a sympathetic jury. So pushing it off 10 months isn't going to help in any way whatsoever. I think it's all about trying to figure out how they can get him out or lower charges.
The man was armed. He had set up a defensive position. And he was fired upon by Secret Service. And then once he fled, they were able to catch up with him using the recognition technology on the license plate information that he had. This is pretty open and shut. About the only thing that if you were going to tell me you needed a delay is if you were going to try and find the right doctors to push some sort of insanity defense. Because there's not a whole lot else here on that.
That's the other thing. Yeah, they're going to find any kind of loophole, any kind of out they can get for him.
Yeah, well, good luck. Good luck finding that.
You're not going to.
I can't imagine setting up for 10 hours. Like maybe there is an insanity plea there because that's crazy. That's what crazy people do. So maybe there is some of that in there, and because I kind of think, and you can tell me what you think about it. The whole reason that Luigi Mangione started screaming yesterday as they were bringing him in was that exact same reason. I want to give myself some sort of appearance of being off a little bit.
But they're And if you want to tell me you need to do a little bit more research, there is a part of me that wants to understand how is a guy who's reportedly near bankruptcy have the ability to be in these different places that he's been, has been able to travel to Ukraine. Was he ever used as some sort of weird asset for the government? And why is he nuts? Like, what did we have any part in this? Again, now you're getting to like conspiratorial theory, but there's got to be something here. For a guy who didn't have any money, how is he doing this?
I couldn't do it. I have a job and couldn't do it.
How is he traveling to these places? How is he owning these multitude of properties? And then how is he trying to recruit Afghan soldiers for a war in Ukraine? Who's backing this?
404-741-1230 is the number. Tim's in Roswell. What's on your mind, Tim?
Hey, y'all missed the obvious.
Okay.
That gives them more time to Epsteining and kill that trail.
Oh, okay. Well, look, okay. maybe that's it.
That's it.
They're going to find him out. Better get rid of this guy.
That's right.
He doesn't have enough. If you told me that he had those kind of connections, he ain't going to make it much longer.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that kind of connection.
I don't know, man. How do you brought it up. How do you travel to all of those places
How do you
on
travel
no
to all
dollars?
those places? There's a reason why the federal government, our intelligence apparatus, always are now finding these loners and weirdos because it's very easy for them to write them off. I mean, we had a shooter who was legitimately nearly successful in Pennsylvania, and you can't tell me one thing about what he was on or how he got indoctrinated into this stuff.
Nope. Well, they can.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the government can. They're not going to.
They won't. Fair point there. We've got the folks from the Smyrna Public Safety Foundation joining us next on Extra 106.3 to talk about a great holiday event that they do called Shop with a Hero.
One of these days, I'm going to get into MK Ultra with you.
Let me write that down.
MK Ultra.
Give me just a teaser.
No, it's how we used LSD and psychedelics to.
Oh, I do. I don't know it. I don't know it,
including Ted Kaczynski.
Yes, and
Charlie Manson.
I've watched the documentary at least in pieces on that a little bit. We will be right back. This is the Morning Extra. Tug, Rhino, and Los, and we're on the air until 10.
Daryl says if you want to confuse your doctor, put on rubber gloves the same time he does.
And I was going to pants off.
The Kimmer Show every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
This holiday season, skip the practical and give something magical. This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, where we've been Atlanta's source for holiday magic since 1939. We take the risk out of gifting with a selection sure to have the perfect piece and the experts here to personally help you find it. For a timeless gift that keeps on giving, our dazzling diamond studs start at just $275, and they can be upgraded for life. For a personal touch, pick from a huge selection of birthstone jewelry starting at just $155. Plus, showstoppers like diamond hoops and tennis bracelets to blow her away and make forever memories. Or for the ultimate magic moment, find the perfect ring for an unforgettable holiday proposal. Hand-picked diamonds and handmade settings that'll make her say yes before you even ask. With Atlanta's best staff of in-house jewelers, have the ring of her dreams sized and set in time for Christmas. With our local family business feel and 85 years of bringing you only the best, D. Geller & Son is here to bring you holiday value and magic this season. Come shop with us in Atlanta, Kennesaw, or Sandy Springs, or browse our gift guide at dgeller.com.
Holiday shopping has arrived. Still looking for the perfect gift for that special someone? How about a Natural Body gift card for a little pampering? Help the ones you love unwind and relieve stress this holiday season. Give the gift of a custom massage, facial, or body treatments. Pick up a gift card in store or online at naturalbody.com and give the gift of relaxation and rejuvenation. Natural Body Spa and Skin Remedy with locations in Atlanta, Alpharetta, Buckhead, Decatur, Marietta, Morningside, Smyrna, Snellville, and Chattanooga. Or shop online at naturalbody.com.
Hey, Roswell. Looking for the perfect bite this football season? Head on over to Nucky's Hoagie's Roswell Corners, where every sandwich is crafted with love by us.
The Sub Sisters,
Stacy
and Shannon. Whether you're looking to cater a football tailgate party or grabbing lunch to go or dining in, we've got delicious Nucky's menu items for you. When you bite into a Nucky's Hoagie, you'll taste the difference. The softest hoagie rolls ever, with the freshest ingredients that'll make your taste buds dance.
Make Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell Corners on Woodstock Road your new favorite sandwich spot.
Whether you get pulled over or get into a crash, drinking and driving will change your whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Are you tired of dealing with loud, ugly, drafty garage doors? Do you have certain rooms in the house that you can't keep cool in the summer or warm in the winter? Hi, I'm Dan Watkins with All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Now is a great time to upgrade with brand new, efficient, quiet, and beautiful garage doors. Your garage door is the biggest opening in your home, which is why it's such an important part of your home's curb appeal and energy efficiency. Give us a call today at 770-517-7078. Get started today by visiting us at allfourseasonsgarages.com.
As the year comes to a close, now is the perfect time to evaluate your estate plan to protect your hard-earned assets from the high tax rates. Nelson Elder Care Law is here to help you keep your assets secure for future generations. As a family-owned and family-focused business, our mission is to exceed your expectations, offering absolute assurance and peace of mind. With our expertise in customized estate planning, Medicaid planning, probate administration, guardianship, and conservatorship, we protect what matters most to you. Schedule a free legacy planning meeting today to discover how we can help families just like yours. Don't let the government decide how to spend your money. Contact us at 678-250-9355. 678-250-9355. Or visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com. Nelson Elder Care Law, your partner in asset protection.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines. Presented by RBM of Atlanta, your Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Wednesday, December 11th. Minnie Turner, a 60-year-old science teacher at Tucker High School, is off the job after being arrested and charged with DUI on Monday morning. Students reported that Turner was driving back to school after picking up food during the first period when she hit another car. The other driver followed her back to the school parking lot where Turner reportedly struck additional vehicles. In a statement from the DeKalb County School District, Turner has been placed on administrative leave and is prohibited from entering DeKalb County School District property until the investigation is complete. Rain will be moving out later this morning, making way for cold temperatures and strong winds. Wind gusts of up to 30 miles per hour are expected this afternoon. Combined with the wet grounds from recent heavy rainfall, there is a potential for trees to come down. Be careful. Temperatures are forecast to drop into the low to mid-40s by this afternoon. And in sports, Atlanta Braves pitcher Max Fried has agreed to an 8-year, $218 million contract with the New York Yankees, according to the Associated Press. The deal marks the largest contract in history for a left-handed pitcher. Fried departs the Braves after 8 seasons, a World Series title, and 3 Gold Glove awards. With your headlines, Scott Rhino, Xtra 106.3.
9 o'clock hour is brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution throughout the Southeast, but specifically in Atlanta since 1999. Roof, siding, doors, windows, gutters. If you need a back deck built or one screened in, like I do, then they can help you. You can reach them at southernexteriors.co. That's southernexteriors.co. Their number 8779 Southern, 8779 Southern. We are fortunate to have some public servants in with us today from the Smyrna Public Safety Foundation. Denise, that is the executive director, and Keith Song, who is the chief of police in Smyrna. Y'all, what's been going on? How is everybody?
Doing great. Looking forward to kicking off this event on Friday and sharing some of the holidays with folks.
Well, let's go through that. That is, it's a great day through the Smyrna Public Safety Foundation and the police department, fire departments. Shop with the Hero. And there are 80-plus Smyrna elementary school students that will get a memorable shopping experience. Each kid gets about a $250 gift card to shop. You get a lunch with the Braves next door at on the Hank Aaron Terrace there at the ballpark. There's nothing better as a kid than going into the stadium where the Braves play. Unbelievable. Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, but we are just shy of our goal. We need to raise $25,000, and we're about right there in the ballpark of $3,000 short. So that's what we're looking for. We want the anybody that can and are willing to step up to make a donation to help this wonderful program continue to operate. Look, if we can get above and beyond what we need, then that carries into next year. But that's what we're looking for, and that's what we're asking folks to do. Right, Chief?
Absolutely. This is a great opportunity for us to give back to some of these kids in the community. It gives us a great opportunity to let these kids, these students, and their parents and their families see us, the public safety officers, as more than just cops or firefighters. They get to see us as parents, as moms and dads, and we get to spend some really good quality time with them.
Denise, how do you get the money? Like, what's the best way for people to get to donate and get the money to you guys to help out?
Absolutely. I would say go to our website at www.smyrnapsf.org. And there is on the main page a tile that you can select. It'll take you right to the donation page, and it'll break down the different options that we have, whether you want to sponsor a child, sponsor a meal, just contribute to the program overall. Bunch of options, but that's the best way.
How do you think, Chief, this puts kids on a different path? Because if you're not taking care of it, you don't feel loved. You don't feel like you're a part of the society, and you see everybody else celebrating Christmas or having, dinner with families or someone else. Does it change the way that these kids will grow up and maybe change the direction of their lives to be more of a positive, citizen as well?
I think it gives us an opportunity to, when we spend this time with these kids, and it's not in any type of enforcement act, we're not coming to their house for something negative. This is 100% positive. Everybody's got smiles on their face that day. Everybody enjoys it. And like I said, they get to see us as more than just what they see on TV or what they see driving down the street in a police car.
Well, Chief, I think it just humanizes.
Right.
That's what, and I think that's the thing. And I don't like to get into it. We have to talk about it a lot, and just the demonization that has gone on of police officers around the country, the entire country. And it was almost a dehumanization. And now this is the opportunity to start at the youngest level to put a police officer in a positive light in a child's in their life. So when they see a uniform or they see a badge or they see even blue lights, it's not immediately, oh my goodness, something horrible's happening. It's not always that. Now, are there times that police officers have to do things that are really difficult to do, and it takes a lot to sort out what's right and what's wrong? Absolutely. But you don't have to start there.
Right. This is a very positive interaction, and the kids really enjoy it, and so do our folks.
See,
the police officers and the firefighters love this.
That's the big
thing. They really enjoy it, and it's an opportunity for them to do something a little different than the day-to-day.
Yeah. Who does it? So we'll put you on the spot. Who's the best at it, though? Is it because we know that the police department and the fire department, they are competitive like you've never seen before on the softball field, out in the community. Who's best at it?
So you see who I have sitting with me, right?
That's right.
And I have to walk out with them. No, actually,
I kid. I'm kidding.
Yeah, they both do an amazing job, and I think what's so special as well about this day is it wouldn't be surprising for somebody to be standing there and see one of these men and women take their own wallet out. They're not real good at multiplication or adding and subtracting. So typically we go over.
Especially the police.
We go over, but they're more than willing to take their own wallet out and pay for the overages. They have the time of their life at this event.
Chief, have you ever seen one of your officers when they're doing shop with a hero, with one of the students from Smyrna Elementary School? Have you ever seen those guys that are and gals too, that risk their life, they're brave, they're everything that our community needs and hopes for? Have you ever seen them get to that point where the eyes start welling up and the tears start coming down? You see these warriors, these people that defend our community and help and are there for us in every moment when we're at our weakest and they're at their strongest, and then all of a sudden you put a little kid in front of them that is maybe experiencing something that possibly they've never experienced before, and then here come the tears.
There's nothing more funnier than to see some of these SWAT guys. That spend so many hours in the gym every day working out and stuff,
Exactly.
and then they're walking around with a 8-year-old picking out girls' shoes,
That's
or
great.
dresses, So that's
great.
That's something that you don't get to see every day.
So, first of all, you guys are horrible softball players compared to the fire department. I can tell you that.
That is true.
But So does that become like a fun thing for each other to kind of like pick on? I mean, is it make it fun too for some of the for the police officers to see a SWAT team kind of break down like that? I mean, do you get a good ribbing after that, or is it just respect for being able to handle that too?
There's a healthy competition.
Yes, sir. I know there is. There always is in every scenario.
How politically correct you guys are.
Look, you got to say the right thing. I get it. We don't know.
We don't.
Chief Marcos may be listening. I don't know.
Chief, if you are, 404-741-1230. We love Chief Marcos over at the fire department. Does a great job, and I know he's going to have his guys ready, and y'all will be ready too. But compel some folks that are listening right now, whether they're individuals that can make a small donation or maybe a business that can make a bigger donation. Can y'all make that pitch?
Absolutely. The children of our community are the future, right? And the goal for this amazing day is to get the interaction within the community, the children to see their first responders. And to realize what their future can be, right? But having that positive feedback or comeback from the community giving and allowing them to have the interaction with these police officers is just unbelievable. It's probably the most amazing day that we have out of the year that the foundation and the police and fire departments have. These children need the support. They need the help. We want them to have the Christmas that we have. We want them to enjoy the holiday. So with this opportunity, if you can donate, and like you said, even just $5, anything helps to contribute to this to this fund, and it allows them to go shopping for clothing items, toys. But you will see these kids set themselves aside a lot of times to buy for their brothers, their sisters, their parents, and that's the amazing thing. We've had one child before ask if they could purchase a crib for their 1-year-old sister.
Oh, my Lord.
So, I mean, this is such a great program. They look for the groceries, and we send each child home with a meal kit for them to enjoy a holiday family meal together. So, I mean, I think that says it, right? We can do so much more to give back to these children.
Ma'am.
We have 85 on the list right now. I wouldn't be surprised if by Friday we hit 90. But yes, please help us.
A lot of these families too, I mean, there were a few Christmases we couldn't afford a tree or any other kind of decorations or anything else, and that's really tough for them. Is there a way for people, instead of just donating money, maybe to donate, old Christmas trees that families can have, or decorations or anything else, or even buy new ones and send them to any of these families that might not have Christmas trees or any kind of decorations?
I would say the best way to do that, either give through our website and note it that you would
That's
like,
what you want it for. Okay.
something to go like that for. And then what we could do is reach out to the schools and work with their counselors and see where the need is, and then connect that request or see where we can meet that need.
Nice.
$250 gift card to shop. And you mentioned it, clothing, shoes, toys, coats, and then that holiday meal. I would imagine that that's probably one of the favorite things that the kids get to experience, to go over to Truist Park, home of the Atlanta Braves, and see where their favorite Braves player plays every night, and to be able to go to the Hank Aaron Terrace, which is a cool section of the stadium, to be able to have lunch with the officers, and I assume the officers and the firefighters and the EMTs are all going to be part of that gathering as well, to sit down and then have a meal. That has to be the bow on top of an amazing day.
Yeah, it makes for a great day for these kids, and they spend the bulk of that day, that Friday, with us. So it's a great opportunity for them.
And this is the first time that they are getting to experience the Brave Stadium.
Oh, wow, okay.
The very first time.
Okay.
So these students are going to be excited. Deputy Chief Benishevich was instrumental in making that connection and helping us get into the Brave Stadium. So we are so grateful for that. And, man, these kids are going to have a good time. Blooper's even going to show up.
Let's go.
Blooper's the best.
It's the best mascot. Aside from Uga, the best mascot in all of sport. There is not a better outside of the dog that is he's amazing. Mm-hmm. I turn into a little bit of a kid. Rhino turns into Los we all turn into a little bit of kids when you're around Blooper, because I don't know if y'all follow Blooper on Twitter, but Blooper's hysterical. Whoever's running that Twitter for the Braves does a stellar, a bang-up job, and it is unbelievable. So, yeah, to have Blooper there. Now, when do Mr. and Mrs. Claus, do they creep in there, too? Is that where we might see them there at the ballpark?
So, yes, they'll show up at the Braves Stadium with us, and they're going to kind of... I'm hoping they don't get, slighted because of Blooper being there, but...
Yeah. Well, look, I'm telling you, it'll be neck and neck. Man. You see Santa and Mrs. Claus trying to elbow Blooper out, or vice versa.
Even I find myself watching him more than I do the game half the time I'm there, so I get it.
It is so much fun. I'm so proud of what y'all do at Smyrna, Chief, and Denise too. And with the Public Safety Foundation is amazing. Do you want to explain, Chief, really quick, or Denise, you can do it either way. Keith, either one of y'all could jump in and just say, the relationship between the police department, fire department, and then the Public Safety Foundation, because I don't know that I didn't know it before I met y'all. I didn't know the difference. I didn't really know what one was versus the other. I thought they were all kind of the same.
Sure. Well, as far as our police department, fire department goes, we do have a healthy competition, but we work so well together. Chief Marcos and I are friends. We have great relationships between the two agencies, and through the foundation, it helps us, do community outreach. It helps us within the city and within some of the projects that we want to do within the departments, get some of those things done. But it really, the foundation really serves as a conduit between the police department, fire department, and the community, and really helps us get our messages out and get programs like this out.
No, it's beautiful. It is. It's an amazing thing, and y'all do incredible work in Smyrna, Georgia, man. Smyrna is the gem of Metro Atlanta, no doubt about it. So y'all work in a wonderful place. You have a wonderful community and wonderful people at the police department, at the fire department, and at the Public Safety Foundation. It really is awesome.
And I thank you, because I do feel safe going to Applebee's across the street now.
That's right.
It is on a good side of town.
Yes. Now that I know you guys are there for us.
Son, you're talking about getting fact-checked.
Yeah. I got fact-checked right in. I just meant I was lazy. I'm not going to go outside the Battery unless I'm going home.
I love it. Thank y'all so much. I want to encourage you, please, if you find that tug in your heart, no pun intended, to give back to your community through the Smyrna Public Safety Foundation, Police Department, Fire Department, EMTs, their Shop with a Hero program. As Denise said, 85 kids at this point. Wouldn't be surprised by the end of the day or end of the week that there's 90 kids that'll get a $250 gift card to go shopping with a hero, with a police officer, with a firefighter, with an EMT, and then a great lunch with Blooper and Santa and Mrs. Claus over on the Hank Aaron Terrace at Truist Park, home of your Atlanta Braves. There is not a better way to support some kids and a great organization like the Smyrna Public Safety Foundation. This Shop with a Hero is something that I encourage you to support. SmyrnaPSF.org. SmyrnaPSF.org is where you can make a donation, and I hope you will. Y'all, thank you so much for taking the time to come in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning Extra will continue next on Extra 106.3. The Dogs, since we were talking about mascots, the Dogs get their due in D.C. Who saw this one coming? Because I did not. Next on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's Tug. The Morning Extra has you covered from 6 to 10, and Kimmer's got you on the ride home.
The same ballless bastards who wouldn't stand up when Biden came up with the most embarrassing and worst withdrawal in the history of the U.S. military, who wouldn't stand up when they pushed drag queens in recruitment, and now they can't get anybody to join, who didn't stand up when the DI stuff was shoved down their throat, where they all kept quiet in the background, will suddenly find their balls when Trump is president. This is the same military a few years ago when Milley was in charge, who said he would alert the Chinese military if Trump was going to do something against them, which is treason. Why is his head not on a pike?
That story disappeared. That story was a story for maybe a day and a half, and it was like a side note saying, well, he even told the Chinese once he really ought to and it was just like it was like a Shakespearean aside. That black ram is stopping your white hue. I mean, I couldn't freaking believe it. It's gone. Nobody remembers that stuff.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Hey, Atlanta, it's Lowe's. Let's talk about Ventrac and also Howard Brothers. And also, if you're feeling that tug on your heart, so to speak, it's probably from Ventrac, all right? That's what happens when Georgia winters start blowing in. Now, we don't have blizzards. We don't have any of that craziness, but we still get some challenges from the weather. We're getting it this afternoon as well. clearing leaves, maybe some debris, maybe some tree limbs, all that stuff that falls. Well, that's where you get your Ventrac equipment. It's all-season equipment, an all-season solution. With Ventrac's unmatched versatility and attachments for every job, it can tackle everything that Georgia winters throw your way, so you can keep your property looking best of everybody in your neighborhood or your property all year long. When people drive by it, they'll say, oh, that person's taking care of that with a Ventrac. That's the tug on your heart. That's what you feel right there. You need a Ventrac, and you get it over at Howard Brothers. Go to howardbrothers.com and see how Ventrac can handle your winter maintenance with ease.
This giving holiday season, what better way to say thank you for your service than to help veterans and their families find success after military service through the Warrior Alliance? Your support helps to connect warriors to services in critical areas such as housing, benefits, legal services, health and wellness, employment, and much more. The Warrior Alliance is changing thousands of lives for the better. In fact, the Military Times has ranked the Warrior Alliance the #1 nonprofit in the nation in their 2024 Best for Vets survey. Donate today at thewarrioralliance.org/donate.
The end of the year is closing in, and with it, another tax year comes to an end. As you prepare to file your taxes, consider the efficiency of your tax strategy. Have you maximized your IRA and Roth contributions? Do you have an RMD strategy in place? Are you making moves now to maximize your future tax-free income? Not only is the year end fast approaching, but the 2017 tax cuts sunset at the end of 2025, placing many Americans in a higher tax bracket. Don't just report your taxes, plan for them. Contact Master Plan Retirement Consultants now to create a retirement plan specifically designed for you. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation where we can illustrate your retirement outlook and create a plan together for your future. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
Sequoia National Golf Club is located 45 minutes west of Asheville, North Carolina, and nestled among the Oak, Fir, and Flowered Valleys in the heart of the Great Smoky Mountains. Owned by the Eastern Band of the Cherokee, this Robert Trent Jones II design offers an idyllic 18-hole journey filled with panoramic vistas on every hole, beautiful landscapes, and a fun mountain golf experience. Enjoy a relaxed lunch or afternoon beverage on the outdoor deck with 180-degree views of the Great Smoky Mountains. The surrounding community also provides golfers a welcoming environment that is rich with Native American culture and exciting year-round attractions. Sequoia National Golf Club is just 4 miles from Harrah's Cherokee Casino Resort and just a short drive from Atlanta. Experience a fun afternoon of golf with your friends or stick around for an epic stay-and-play weekend. Experience mountain golf at its finest and then go hit the casino floor. Book your tee time at sequoianational.com. That's sequoianational.com. Experience the majesty and beauty of Sequoia National, mountain golf at its finest.
Extra 106.3 is dedicated to being your conservative voice as things change in Washington. We bring you trusted local and national voices, Atlanta radio legends like Neil Bortz and The Kimmer, and the international resources of Fox News. The conservative voice of Atlanta, Extra 106.3 FM, and streaming across Georgia on the Extra 106.3 app.
Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra. It's so good to have the Smyrna Public Safety Foundation folks in. Chief Zong is great. Denise Zarnik is so wonderful. They do great work.
D-Nice.
Smyrna. Yes, that's. You know what? I should have hit her with an old D-Nice.
We were doing it in the background.
Okay. See, I failed.
D-Nice. D-Nice.
I failed on that one. I should have done it. But sweet folks that care about their community and they genuinely want to develop a relationship with the younger folks that maybe don't know the goodness and the noble cause of being a police officer or a firefighter or an EMT, sacrificing on a daily basis for your community.
Well, I think it's really great what they do, and I know a lot of other police departments do it as well, but what I've seen out of Smyrna and the way that they've been involved in this community for so long, when I went back and playing softball, those guys are always around, always talking to people, always being really nice, making people feel comfortable, but it's more important now to have kids feel comfortable with this because you have the other side that is going to play victim to police all the time. You're seeing it with Daniel Penny and the whole story out there because what's the next thing? Oh, look at how the police do this and this and this. The police are racist, this. And we've heard it for so long. You have to kind of make people feel comfortable that the police are there because when they need the police, guess who's right there every single time, no matter what. They're always there to help you.
I just like the idea of getting kids a really cool introduction to something like Truist Park. And then
first time they've ever done it.
By all means, then you start to open up your eyes to a lot of other things in this world. When your world starts to get bigger when you're a kid and you start wondering about other possibilities, I think that's the goal. That's what you're looking to do. You're starting to get kids to imagine what can be as they get older.
You hit the nail on the head. And I don't think can I give you an example of this? And being from Dalton, Georgia, a lot of people don't leave Dalton, Georgia. They stay there. And that's not a bad thing necessarily. I just remember the first time I told my daddy, I said, Daddy, I'm not going to work in these carpet mills. And he said, well, what are you going to do? Like it was a foreign concept to
It's
him.
like you work in the mills.
That's what we do. And it's a good living. And those people work hard and they go home and they raise great families. I was one of those. I was raised by those families. I admire those people.
Then you told your dad, I don't want your life.
That's exactly right.
And you had your own varsity blues right then.
I don't want your life.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
But it is true, and it happens in the reverse. I grew up in New York, so sheltered that there's nothing outside of New York. I knew that all the old Jews moved down to Florida, and that's where I'd probably end up to retire. That was the way it just kind of was all the time. And to get outside of Georgia, to get outside of New York and see a Georgia, to see other parts of the area, I was like, wow, I'm missing out my entire life. Like, look at all that. That's why I never went back. I got here and I go, whoa, look at the freedom. And that's like in the United States, by the way, that I felt like I could leave New York and find freedom in Georgia.
But that's a cool part. When you're doing the shop with a hero, and again, we're just looking for a few extra $1,000 to hit the goal number of what the number about 25
They want to get to
grand.
25
That's the goal number. So if you can help out, that'd be awesome. But it really is about just opening up the world for these kids.
Absolutely. Opportunity. It's all we ever ask
so
for.
that they don't end up in the mills of Dalton, Georgia.
Yeah, right. But if they do,
or slumming it in New York like Rhino thought about doing.
Everything's bigger in Texas where you grew up. So
I told my dad, my parents worked in telecom for 30 years. When I made the point, I don't have any interest in that.
Yeah.
You would have thought I kicked a dog.
Right. Damn you, Carlos.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute. Did we really have you go through college and you don't want to rise to the ranks of AT&T? No.
I want to castrate bulls, Dad.
Yeah. But, it is funny because fast forward, and my daddy did tell me, probably 2 years into my Navy service time.
That he finally loved you?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
And it was wonderful, and he was proud of me and all those things.
That's
But
cool. You made the right decision, son. You were brave enough to do it.
Absolutely. And he even said, I couldn't see it. I was scared for you. I didn't know anything outside of.
Yeah.
He was born and raised in Cassville, Georgia.
Right.
And then moved to Dalton, and that's it.
Then he took that football and he put it in your hand. He said, knock this beer can off my head, Tug, for old time's sake.
Actually, he didn't. It was more of a BB gun.
A BB gun. Okay,
Because he knew I was no good at football. He knew I didn't have a chance at that.
Shoot this off my head, Tug.
That's right. He was like, I'm going to get your cousin Curtis to do it if you don't do it, you loser. And Curtis did it. And then I was, it was bad. It was downhill from there. No, but it's funny. Last thought on this is the fact that when I was about to get out of the Navy, my daddy asked me the same question. He said, well, what are you going to do? He was like, because that was the new normal. Like, what do you mean you're getting out of the Navy? I thought this is what you're doing.
Could be a ballet dancer, Dad.
Yeah, exactly. Can I show y'all?
Did you tell him radio? Like, were you in the radio then, or did you know coming out? Sorry.
I didn't know coming out. It's what I wanted to do since I was a child. Made my own little radio station when I was 7 or 8 years old. Okay. 8 or 9, somewhere there. My mom still has some of the cassette tapes. Mom still got them. I think they made the move. Who knows?
Ma, send those in today.
Yeah, if you don't mind. I make my own commercials, all of it. And so
do the same.
I don't know that they had any idea that I would actually end up doing this. They knew I wanted to from a young age, but it all works out. And,
were they like, that's the entertainment business, you're never going to make it?
No, that was my high school guidance counselor. She was like, radio? That's like being a movie star. You can't do that.
Mine did too, and we had a radio station in our high school, and I'm like, wait, then why do we have a radio station if I'm not supposed to want to do this?
That's the point. I want to play y'all a piece of audio because I ran across a meme that reminds me of the Georgia victory over Texas. And that somebody would bring it up and point it out. Look at this, y'all. It is it's a good meme. Stockton doesn't have a head. Beck doesn't have an arm.
Oh.
And you're standing there with the steer, old Bevo, and it says, "And we still beat you." Mike Collins, proud of them dogs, and he made the proclamation in D.C.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to demand that Texas be sent back to the Big 12 and congratulate the 2024 SEC champions, the Georgia Bulldogs. After the Dogs' historic win over the Longhorns, the SEC's championships over the weekend, which, by the way, was the second time Georgia has beat Texas this season, the Dogs have proved without a doubt that Texas just ain't ready for SEC ball.
Oh, my.
What an incredible win, Mr. Speaker. Not only did the Dogs absolutely smoke Texas in overtime, but they did it with class, style, and a backup quarterback. This is the 15th SEC championship in Georgia history, and the Dogs aren't done yet. As we move into the playoffs, don't let off the gas. You've got a national championship to bring back to Athens, and don't let anyone stop you. Mr. Speaker, go Dogs!
Attaboy.
And I yield back.
Oh, I love Mike Collins. Listen,
Makes a hair
I'm not a
back on
Dogs fan, but I like when they do this. I don't like when Corinne Brown did it for the Gators. Go Gator! Oh God, what a horrible way to do that. But I love it. I mean, that is some fun that we can actually have. I thought it was great that he just kind of trashed Texas the way he did and send them back to the Big 12. And you get to gloat every once in a while. It's fun.
Funny. It's what makes college football so fun right there. And this was shared too. 16.6 million viewers, 19.7 at its most, which is double, more than double what the Big 12 and the ACC got together.
Whew. Sounds about right for a 4:30 kickoff. For
That's
sure.
like-
With the two biggest brands.
That was huge.
That's like 20 CNN audiences.
No kidding. Hey, there's I don't know if we got time to get to it, but Jamie Foxx did a special here on Netflix, and it happened here in Atlanta.
Dropped yesterday. If you haven't seen it or you're wondering what it is, it's called What Had Happened Was. And he talks about his idea, his journey that he went through here in Atlanta. Now, I'm going to tell you, it's going to start off slow. When you start it, you're going to be like, this is not funny. And it's not exactly meant to be funny. There's a lot of funny laugh out loud parts. But he's telling you the story about how he almost died here and how he got back. And it's about his testimony. It's about his faith. It's about losing his faith, getting it back. It is a really good hour of powerful television if you're looking for something to watch tonight.
I have found something that I'm going to watch.
Right, I'm check it out. You text me about, again, I'm telling you guys flat out, I thought about stopping it 7 or 8 minutes in. I'm like, this isn't funny.
Okay.
And then it's built to be that way.
Wow.
All right,
when Los is ready to give up, man, that's a statement.
I was
That
ready to
must
check out, and then I was glad I didn't.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, there are legit moments where, as a parent, you will tear up.
Oh, well, look, that's right in my wheelhouse. That's right in my wheelhouse, man. I love
But you'll be laughing, too.
Yeah, I love the range of emotions. I think it's great. So check that out on Netflix.
It's an Oscar-winning actor, and he's going to give you a special about what happened to him.
For Rhino, Front Office Los, and Captain Goey Virgin River, I'm Tug. Y'all come back now, you hear?
Hey, it's Flounder, and The Kimmer Show is live every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m.
This is a man who was a Nazi, and he just got the Jews and the Muslims to come together and vote for him. He's the worst Nazi ever.
And the black people. You got and Nazis don't really like black people either.
I mean, Jews and Muslims came together.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.